we're back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, to the final day here of the 2026 GSL CK number 4. We are here, we are back with the second day, or the second half of the event. Of course, we were live yesterday with day 1. Now we're here with day number 2. I'm, of course, ShoWTimE with you. I'm joined by these amazing players and by the lovely people in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. To again coverage of GSL CK. For those that may be unaware, we have GSL proper, and we just wrapped up with season 2 not too long ago, but we've also been running these more fun, a little bit more flexible format events with the GSL Champions Korea. The 1, 2, and 3 were more like Team League-esque tournaments, more like Pro League or GSTL style format with all kill, with preparation based, with little players and voice comms as well. It was a lot of fun, it was amazing, it was beautiful. Meanwhile, we are now live with instead something different, a single elimination bracket here. Like, on top of that, it is also the PTR edition as well, with the new and latest version of said public test realm. And oh boy, it's been it's been quite a tournament so far. We'll get into it. So far, we do have the first half, though, the quarterfinals wrapped up. As you can see here, we have our updated scores, non-stop 3-0s and very short games in the first day of GSL CK. Really short matches, very intense games so far, and again, we have been... So as I do try to set up our player cams here, un momento. But again, it was our first kind of look into what is the current iteration of the PTR. We of course did have some thoughts on it. It did have some thoughts, it have some observations when it comes to the games themselves, as have a lot of people. We'll get into it, I'm sure. Yeah, it's it's let's just say that Zurich has been looking very strong with the new changes, specifically with the lava changes. For those who are maybe unaware, a couple of days ago, at this point now 2 days ago, there was an update to the PTR and the lava spawn rate has been increased, so now we have more lava. This also does mean we have increased production in regards to droning, in regards to everything actually, just a flat increase of production, Zerg all around. Now, as a result, we have seen stronger defenses, stronger mid-game play, and stronger aggression, and just a little stronger play out of Zerg in general here. On top of that, we have layered on top of that the other changes to Protoss that have been occurring in regards to the gateway changes, which has incentivized more defensive play, and it's been a bit of a very experimental and a very shaky event so far, especially because players have had so little time to adjust and adapt, but also because there's definitely an argument to be made that some of these changes were maybe not the most thought out in regards to how it would impact the rest of the game, in regards to the mid to late game as well. So it's been quite an ordeal, I will say that. But now though, players are getting ready and we're about to jump into our first series. So as you can see here, one moment, again, just setting up players. Maru took down ShoWTimE 3-0. We had Reynor take down Classic 3-0. Now they're facing off in the first series of the broadcast in a TVZ. Maru versus Reynor is coming up first, followed by Lambo, who took down Hero 3-0, and Solar took down Clem 3-0 as well. We have a ZVZ on the southern half of the bracket as well. Oh boy. So we have our two matchups. We have our upcoming games. I'm just waiting for our players to get ready for us here. Bam! As you can see. Maru, he's set up. Elated as always. True. Reynor, nowhere to be found. He's coming, I'm sure. Don't you worry. Again, just waiting for our players to get ready and to arrive. Vitas are done, so we do have our veto process. Looks like 10,000 feet, Mothership Celestial Enclave have been vetoed, and we do have our map order ahead of us. Up first is going to be on Tourmaline, followed by the Old Republic, White Rabbit, Ruby Rock, and Winter Madness. Oh boy, if we get that far. Just testing to see if we do have Reynor's. There we go. We got him. Yo, Reynor, he was beaming yesterday, by the way. And fun fact, it was right after the events where Reynor actually he posted on Twitter how he's never felt better. He's I think a lot of people are currently kind of are synced up or are lock in step with the idea that most likely there are going to be changes, amendments, and I can't imagine that the lava change is going to survive the PTR. No shot, like based on what we're seeing here. But there are other kind of issues with it as well. Regardless, we're going to be jumping in. Also, before I get ahead of myself, as we get into game 1 of our series, if you're in the chat, if you're watching, if you want to support the GSL and support StarCraft as a whole, not just Korean StarCraft, but also global StarCraft as well, as this event is Korea versus the world, if you will, you can do so via the Patreon. Patreon.com/GSL is a way to support the event and to potentially even fund a future season of GSL. We already wrapped up Season 1 and Season 2, and Season 3 has yet to be funded, and you can help us reach that goal and fund GSL via Patreon. Can help us out, but here we go. Spawning in the top right corner of Tourmaline, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran representing on side. It is Maru. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the Italian Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Man. Vámonos. As we are getting into our first game of the series, bearing in mind, of course, it's going to be a best of 5, so longer series, longer back and forth, and we'll see what Maru's been cooking up here. Again, there's definitely a lot of sentiment about Zerg being overtuned in the current iteration of PTR when it comes to how hard and how fast they can grow their economy and grow their army as a result, have stronger mid-game play, stronger early game play, stronger everything, really. But we'll see if Maru can put an end to that, as we do load into a much smaller map of map pool, as we load into Tourmaline. Oh, sorry, just fixing up, there we go, fixing up the borders on the player cams. But of course, Tourmaline, I would say, is traditionally a more Terran-heavy or Terran-favored map because of the rush distance by ground, because of the lack of kind of defender's advantage here, where we have a very open area in towards the natural, very open entrance here in towards the third base. We do often see some struggles when it comes to players surviving set early to mid-game and building up into a longer game state. Eyes are going to be on Maru here to see how aggressive he plans on being, whether we go into, say, a 1-1-1, whether we go into an earlier stim timing with a 2-1-1 variation, whether we go into something more committed. Eyes are mainly going to be on Maru here. In regards to day 1 of the event as well, again, it was like the first big event on the new iteration of the PTR. We also did hear some opinions and thoughts from some of the other players because a lot of them were streaming. So Classic, Shin, of course, is casting the event. Ryung is casting as well, and they also did express their sentiments in regards to the buff to the Zerg. And I don't want to harp on it too much, of course, because I don't want to take away from the game being played here. But what I will say is that because of those changes and because of specifically the Zerg buff, it is overpowering in the sense that it's stopping us from seeing some of the other changes that were implemented to the PTR. Specifically the Ghost, right? The Ghost has been adjusted, has been changed, because the Ghost was looking very dominant in the first version of the PTR, especially in the late game when we saw Mass Ghost versus Broodlord and Fester. We saw many a Zerg player who were ahead, far ahead even, crumble before the Mass Ghost. It was insane just how many games of that we did see with players like Byun, Shin, Solar as well over the past couple of weeks. Now we had some changes to the Ghost, but we're not getting to see any of that because of how strong Zerg is as early as it is, so they're not getting into that kind of game state to experience any of the other changes. Likewise, same can be said with ZVP with Protoss, where a lot of changes have been made to gateway production, right? We had the change from 50/50 to morph in warp gate to 25/25, so it's now much cheaper. Likewise, a bunch of changes were made to warp gate production as well and to warp ins, but we couldn't really experience any of that because Protoss players are not really allowed to build up into that kind of game state due to how oppressive Zerg was in those matches in day 1. So it isn't just that this change is of course benefiting Zerg to the point where things are looking a little bit more one-sided at times, but it's also stopping us from seeing some of the other changes unfold and stopping us from testing that and from showcasing and observing and giving feedback like that. That's being stopped because of the larva change, essentially. That's at least my perception after day one. We'll see how things evolve here coming into day two. So far, hatch gas pool building on up. We do have our initial 2 Reapers poking in, and barely will get away. Maru did open up with additional Reapers here, going for a 3rd CC into a 3cc 2-on-1. Okay, so we're going for an earlier sim timing. Reapers do pull away. Hellions going to be reinforcing. They catch out the Zerglings, and so far, Maru, he's gaining map control. He's gaining map control. Poking, prodding, trading with the Zerglings. Behind this again, he's not all in, building up into 3rd base into an early stim timing. This will hit quite hard, and it's going to be up to Reynor to confirm what exactly is going on. As Reynor, he's yet to dip in. So far, just keeping up. He's able to deflect. And so with this, it looks like we are going for the add-on swap. Okay, so we're going for the add-on swap. If we had stuck with Hellion production, then there's a chance we could have seen an armory and gone for a stim timing with a Hellbat push as well. But as we can see here, we go for the add-on swap instead, going into 1-1 upgrades, into double Evo chamber, or sorry, double E-bays even, and going for just standard stim timing. I say standard, this should hit at around 6 minutes. We're waiting for the Medivacs, of course. Medivac's supports, then Maru can move out and apply that pressure. And we'll see if Reynor can keep up. Reynor is going to be a little bit greedy here, going double Evo chamber first. That's going to be Evo chambers before the lair, before the Baneling Nest. Prioritizing upgrades before getting into a greater tech. So far, Reynor spreading creep. I believe there was also actually an amendment patch this morning, if I'm not mistaken, where the new maps were added to the map pool in the PTR, and also I think we had the hatchery change as well. I remember one of the things, one of the changes, of course, was the queen being made cheaper, but the hatchery was left cheap as well. But I believe they increased the cost of the hatchery to compensate for that. It was a reversion from a change we saw in a past patch. And there might have been another change as well. There wasn't any major like post about it. It was like more of like a stealth hotfix that was implemented. Now we do have our 2-on-1. Does move out. Does hit the initial creep tumors here, catching out all the tumors, applying some pressure here. So far, Reynor is keeping up at the same time, getting ready for his own counterattack. Hellions and Reapers are back at him to defend. So Maru, he is more or less in position. And Maru is ready back at home. So Maru again, just poking and prodding. Does catch an Overlord. And gearing up for a second wave with tanks. For now, again, just applying pressure, keeping Reynor on his toes. So far, Reynor has been free to drone up, getting up to 3 base economy. 4th base is now on the way. And so far, Reynor's holding well. It's like, yo, the queen production is back. True, true. Not wrong. Oh, nice catch. And Reynor catching out a couple of Marines. Does back in, does pull away. So far, Maru, he does hold, he does defend, building up into a second factory, into additional gases, into a 4th CC. So again, Maru, he's building up into a longer game state. He's not going for any kind of like crisp timing or 8 racks, for example. None of that. Which means we may take it a step further. I mean, Maru, what is he known for in TVZ? I mean, Maru, he's probably the strongest kind of macro fiend out there, the macro player, just known for turtling up. Just turtling up, slowing down the game, securing a 3rd base, a 4th base as well, and then a 5th. A wall of planetary, sensor towers. That's kind of Maru's expertise in this matchup. It's slowing the game down. And we'll see if he can. See if he can. I mean, the advantage here of Tourmaline and the size of the map is that if Maru were to turtle up, and we are now seeing sensor towers being thrown down, but if he were to turtle up and then start to push out across the map, it won't take long at all to actually break out and start to hit bases. Theorizing this kind of maxed out scenario. Again, if he can get there. Now just applying more pressure. Maestro catching a couple of Zerglings. A couple of things get caught out. Again, Maru just keeping Reynor busy. And Reynor is freely taking up as well. That's a little bit concerning here. So Reynor's cutting corners. As you can see, there is no Hydrogen. No Hydrogen, no Spire. We're going straight for the Hive, straight for Ultra Tech. There's going to be a very strong window and a strong timing available here for Reynor to hit. Oh no! As he does catch a medevac. Yeah, full medevac goes down. Ay. Some rough piling there by Maru. But Reynor's going to have a massive power spike with those Ultras. Reynor, he's on the way. He's getting there. Maru this time pushing out with his main force. Does morph in those Hellbats, setting up his mines. Reynor's maxed out. Yeah, he is maxed out, and so far Maru's gaining some ground. Trying to force fight within the range of the mines. Oh! So far, decent mine shots. Painless being shut down. Yeah, decent starts, but Reynor has plenty more where that came from. Yeah, he will hold. He will hold. He will force this back. Buying more time. At the same time, we do see the Queens. They hold off on the south side. And Reynor even being able to counterattack. Oof. Up. Yeah, does split, does spread. Baits out all the mine shots. Butts into the mineral line. SCV's going to be going down. Does get a tank. Not bad. But no major damage. Only 4 SCVs. True. Only 4 workers. Maru, he defends. And so does Reynor. Now, as the dust is settling here, I do want to say this is benefiting Reynor just because 3-3 is now on the way. I don't believe we have an Ultra Cavern yet. Yeah, no Ultra Cavern yet. But there it is. Now during this bit of a lull period, bam, Ultra Cavern. This could have been thrown down earlier. As you can see, Reynor, he does have a bit of a bank. So delayed Ultra Tech and delayed Ultra upgrades more importantly. Oh, nice mine shots. 8 drones going down, dropping into the main base. So far, Maru doing very well here with his multi-pronged aggression. Yeah, killing up to 11, 12 drones. Okay, nice damage. Reynor being pulled apart. Maru moving in. Oh my god, brutal mine shots. And very nice connections here. And Reynor's being slowed down. As I mentioned, because of all the aggression earlier, Reynor, his Ultra Cavern did slip his mind. Likewise, here he's slipping up when it comes to the early game, when it comes to the defense. Losing up to 15 drones. And now that Ultra timing is looking less crisp. And Maru's not stopping. Behind this, claiming his own 4th CC. Planetary is now up and running. I will say that we are still lacking some defenses back at home. Right now, Maru, he's relying heavily here on Reynor staying home to defend. I'm thinking back to the Clem series versus Solar, where as soon as the aggression subsided, then Solar just started knocking down bases. I'm concerned that that might happen here. So far, Maru, he's keeping pace. Still moving in. This time, not really finding too much damage, though. Just trading with the Link Bane. Oh. So far, once again, being forced off a creep. Kind of splitting is almost done. And Reynor is forcing Maru back home. Keeping it busy. Of course, we're still going to be lacking Ultra Speed. But Reynor's taking up further. Yeah, Spire now on the way. Ultra's on the horizon. Oh. It does feel like Maru's aggression is slowing down. But again, he's still trying to be active. Oof. As the medevac barely gets away. Maru moving back in. As he moves back in, Reynor, he does hit that center expansion. That's going to be the dead planetary. Yeah, not just the planetary, the SCVs as well. Massive pickle. 15 SCVs go down. Some brutal damage across the map. And back at home, Reynor. Oh no, no splits. Oof. Yeah, no splits. The reaction there. Maru, he will lose the entire army and his base as well. And Maru's falling apart. He's falling apart here. We did allude to this earlier in regards to the Clem Solar series as well, where the moment that the Terran player slows down, then the Zerg player is able to stabilize and then start to counterattack and start to knock down bases. And because Maru was being so aggressive, there was not enough to defend back at home. Once the aggression failed. And with that, Maru, he's lost his steam, he's lost his momentum. Trying to re-expand here on the top side. Reynor's now remaxing with Ultras. Oof. And the ball is swinging heavily here in favor of Reynor. Just waiting for those Ultralisks. And remember, they are hitting pre-Ghost. Now, there is a decent chunk of Marauders here, at least. You have some Marauders. And against a lower Ultra count, that can be okay. And Reynor already able to engage, cleaning up the majority of the army. Ay, ay, ay. And now the Ultras move in. Now we move in at the same time. Another big counterattack here. SCVs go down. 24 SCV kills. Crazy damage. And Maru cannot defend. He cannot defend. As we mentioned before, like once the aggression subsided, once the drop stopped working, Reynor got very comfortable. And with that, 39 SCV kills. Every CC is going down. More damage here at the third. And Maru's broke. Maru, he's broke, Bap. Ay, ay, ay. And what you see is what she gets. It's still a decently sized army here, but there's no sustain. Maru, he cannot sustain any losses. He can't afford these trades. Once again, another Link counterattack. Gets into the middle line. Links, they bust into the natural as well. Everything's on fire. And here come the Ultras. And they bust on top of the army. They bust in. GG gets called. And Reynor, he will overwhelm. He will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Reynor able to overwhelm, able to eventually gain map control as well. He's locked in, Bap. He's locked in. Ay, ay, ay. But as you mentioned, Maru, he was doing a decent job at a certain point when it comes to dealing economic damage. I was very impressed. We saw Maru hitting like 3 locations at once, hitting the northern 3rd base, hitting the southern 4th base, dropping into the main as well, killing drones, which was great. But if you notice, we did point out at the time, there was after that period, after losing a couple of medevacs, then he started slowing down. Reynor was able to stabilize, able to build up into Hive Tech, into Ultras, into 3-3 upgrades, and then he was free to counterattack. And the moment that Reynor started counterattacking, the moment that there was some breathing room available for Reynor, it all just fell apart there for Maru, and GG. GG, well played. With that, Reynor does take a lead in the series. Now we're getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. Now, I will say that Tourmaline is much more punishing in that way because the map is so small. These attacks and these counterattacks do hit very, very quickly from the side of Zerg. Now we're going to be loading into a larger map, and we'll see. We'll see if Maru can keep up here, because notoriously, even in the live version of the game, we have seen many a Terran players struggle on the Old Republic. Oof. We'll get into it. We'll get into it here. As our players do ready up. Can we stop the ZVZ finals, Pappy? Ay, ay, ay. I will say that I do think that Maru, he does have a higher chance here to maybe be hyper defensive and to try to slow the game down on this map more so than on Tourmaline. As you saw on Tourmaline, he was expanding. Of course, he was building up into an attempted longer game, but that was all for the back of hyper aggression. I don't really see that working anywhere near as well on the Old Republic, but we'll see. We'll get into it. Here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner here of the Old Republic. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back. Representing onside, it is Maru. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Italian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Basilisk, leading the series 1-0. It is Reynor. Let's go. Let us go. Welcome all to the Old Republic. This is a much larger map of the map pool. Longer rush distance by ground. So on the one hand, that can lead to some longer game states and some more back and forth play. That is true. It's a little bit more forgiving in a certain aspect, just because you have more time to react, to respond, to defend as well. But at the same time, I will say that the 3rd, 4th, and 5th bases are very open. They're very exposed. And we have seen many a Terran and Protoss player in the live version of the game struggle to defend. defend and struggle to embrace a longer game on the Old Republic. I'm referring to Maru in GSL. I'm referring to Clem in RSL, in GSL, in other top tournaments as well in recent months. Again, it can be quite difficult. The reasoning for this is because of, one, how open the low ground base is. You can see here it's very open as a fourth location. Likewise, the third base is also much more accessible as well, and the linear fourth base is a lot further away. It's a lot further away, and also multiple angles of attack and a larger attack path as well, a larger kind of entrance. So trying to defend and maintain a 4 and then 5 base economy can be quite difficult here. Can be difficult. The best answer that we've seen so far in TVZ is the same style that we just saw out of Maru. We've seen it from Clem, Maru, Bjorn, Cure, and what style is that? Being hyper aggressive with drop play in the mid game, and just ensure you do the best you can to make sure that Reynor, or the Zerg player, stays at home defending, which, as you saw, did work up until a certain point. But once you start to lose steam, once the Terran player starts to lose a couple of drops, a couple of medevacs, once the Zerg player gets some momentum, then it all snowballs out of control, and then Reynor can gain map control and knock down these bases. So it's very much on a knife's edge here when it comes to the Terran player being aggressive and applying all this pressure and hopefully able to, you know, deal damage and pull their opponent apart. I will say that on the PTR, in this second iteration of the PTR, it's going to be even more difficult for the Terran, just because the Zerg production is even stronger, so a stronger economy, stronger army as well. It should be an easier defense for Reynor than it is in the live version of the game. Which doesn't help. It's which is like, like this game was already going to be difficult for Maru in the live version. Now in the PTR version 2, it's, oh god. I mean, we'll see if he can. We'll see how he does adjust his approach here. If we once again are going to be going for a hyper aggressive approach or something different. Already here. Oh, hello. That is a third CC after the racks. Okay, before the factory, before the starport, before, more importantly, the second racks. This looks like a 3CC 3 racks. Yep, there we go. This is a TVP build. Very rare against Zerg. Very, very rare here. Not unheard of, not unseen, but a rare sight nonetheless. This is a very greedy build out of Maru. Very greedy. Insanely fast third CC, insanely fast economy, faster mules, faster triple SV production, leading into a stim timing. But again, what's important about this build is just how quickly you get your third CC up and running. So hyper greed out of Maru. Okay. And because of this hyper greed, this should lead into a stronger mid game for Maru, because he should have a boosted economy, right? A boosted economy leading into a boosted production. Leading into, again, what should be a stronger mid game, but we'll see. We'll see if he can get away with it. Builds like this, because how greedy they are, they can be very vulnerable against roach base all-ins and roach heavy play, just because you're delaying your factory and you're delaying your tank production for so long, and because you're also delaying tech as well. You're delaying like stim to get into the faster third CC, and you're cutting a lot of corners here. Thankfully, Reynor does have a reputation for not really enjoying roach play. Like, if we were casting Shin or Solar or Rogue or any of the Korean Zerg players, the 3 that I just mentioned, there's a very high chance we play roaches. Like, they're very fond of going into roaches and going that roach ultra style instead of what Reynor did, which is Ling Bane ultra. Ling Bane ultra is much greedier and is something that Reynor enjoys doing. The Korean Zerg players typically avoid that, and they're much more comfortable with roach openers instead into ultra tech. So because Reynor's not really fond of roaches, I mean, Maru's safer in going for this kind of build. And here comes that third CC. It's floating over. Reynor, he will see the high marine count, but he's not aware of the third CC timing. So in Reynor's mind, this could just be a regular 2-on-1, or it could be a 3CC 2-on-1, but I doubt he's thinking 3CC 3 racks, just because this build is so rare in this matchup. So again, Reynor, he has incomplete information here. We can see Reynor going for a lair first, a lair into Baneliness, into this time delayed Evo chambers. Very interesting. So remember, last game we saw some heavy upgrade play out of Reynor going for faster Evo chambers, which was greedy. Here it's a little bit safer because of the faster lair. This does mean a faster Overseer scout, so this Overlord here can morph into an Overseer to go in to confirm what's going on. Likewise, it also means faster Baneling speed, but it will mean delayed upgrades. So it's a bit of a safer approach here. It does mean that the upgrade is going to be a little bit lackluster for Reynor, at least compared to last game. I'm still waiting for that lair. Maru applying pressure, the Overlord does poke in, and we'll get a full scouts for the most part. Does come from the production, and now gets highs on the additional racks, and the lack of starport, more importantly. There we go. So now he knows. Reynor, he's now aware. He didn't see the third, but now he does. So he's now aware just how greedy Maru has been of the late starport, or the faster command center. Orbital's already complete, already on location, and Reynor, he has to apply pressure. So Reynor does move out. As I mentioned, because of Reynor's build, a faster bailing speed, but again, later 1-1 upgrades. As Reynor, he does pull away. And I'm curious to see if Reynor takes up even further. Remember, last game, Reynor, he went straight Ling Bane into Ultra, but we could dabble in Hydra play or Spire even as well. We'll see. I'm not too fond of the idea of Reynor just going Ling Bane again, just because it does feel a little bit greedy considering the power spike that Maru should soon be getting into. And yep, there it is, Hydra Den. This I do like. As I just mentioned, because Maru has gotten away with his greed, it does mean that he should have a bit of a stronger force coming into the mid game. And Reynor is not cutting as many corners, he's playing Ling Bane Hydra. So a safer build here by Reynor, or a safer composition. With this Reynor, he'll have some anti-air to try to keep up with the Medivacs to deny drop play. He'll have a backbone to his Ling Bane army. Maru breaks in, catching out a couple of tumors. Crazy yet. Yeah, picking up, rotating over towards the top side. And again, Maru's building up into his own 4th CC. So 4th command center, extra Raxes. Still staying in a very buy-heavy composition. Maru's avoiding his 2nd factory, just going into more Raxes instead, and he will kill the hatchery. Not bad. Free pickup. Takes down the free base. Pulls away. Shaves off a couple of Zerglings. And doesn't lose a single unit. So far, so good. As again, the drop play continues, and you can see, compared to the previous game, we have more Marines here. We have a stronger force. A much more threatening army. As Maru, he wants that hatchery once again. Can he force a cancel? Oh, not quite. He will. Not bad. Kills, he cancels, rotates towards the south side, looking to deny the 5th expansion. There is none. So far, good stuff for Maru. Does start things off well. This is all about just keeping Reynor contained and slowing him down. He does catch out all the active tumors. Pulls away. Reynor's in position. Nice topic. Nice focus firing. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. 3 Banelings, not bad. Bleeds out a couple of Marines. Here comes the main push. Yeah, the main push here. We have how many Widow Mines? 10. We have 10 mines setting up. Hive is now on the way. Remember, Reynor did go Hydra this time. So it does have a much more robust army. Moves in. Baits out some of the mine shots. Still a couple of mines left. Or can he move in? Bailings are now finishing. And we're running out of mines. Oof. Yeah, he's running out. Hydras, they push forward. We're trying to get on top of the tank. And Reynor, he should have enough. Yeah, he should have enough here. Breaks through the main army. Baited out most of the mine shots. Cleans up the tank. Has to wait for reinforcements. Has to calm down. But there we go. Lings have arrived, and Reynor, he holds. He holds, he shuts down the army. Now, what's terrifying about what just happened here, he doesn't just shut down the army, but Reynor, he expands, and he maintains the 5th base. Remember, Reynor, he had a very hard time expanding. His base was denied, what, 2-3 times? Now it's up. Now it's up. Now Maru is slowing down. Hive is now done for Reynor. Viper production has begun. And this is the moment where Maru's slowing down and Reynor's stabilizing. So Maru, once again, I mean, the pressure's on, right? The pressure's on Maru. He has to be active. He's got to get something done. Rotate to the south side. Reynor, he is, for the most part, keeping up. Still lacking in some of the crease spread. I mean, so many tumors have gone down. Oh god, brutal Bailey connection. And Reynor's fine. And Reynor's maxed out. Reynor is maxed out. 3-3 upgrades on the way. We can soon start an Ultra Cavern if we intend to take up in that direction. And with Reynor maxed out and stabilizing, it's soon going to be time for Reynor to start to attack, to break out across the map and to start to knock down some of these bases. We mentioned earlier at the start of the game how difficult it is to be the defending player as a Terran player on the Old Republic, just because these bases are so open and so exposed. And we're waiting for that moment, waiting for that breakout moment here from Reynor. Decent line shots though. Very juicy connection. So we have one good shot. Reynor's still waiting for the upgrades. Adrenal's finishing up. 3-3 is still a ways away. And Reynor never did throw down an Ultra Cavern or said Lurker Den. Just relying on the Vipers. That's a little bit risky here. Reynor waiting for his Banelings. And now do more Finn. And once again, Reynor will be able to collapse forward. Oh, not the best trades here, trading mainly against Marauders. Yeah, a little Marauders go down for Banelings. Not the most ideal trades for Reynor. A little bit messy. Yeah, some messy trades for Reynor, but still good enough. We're getting messy, pappy. And it looks like Reynor, he wants to stick with a much more mobile composition, as he does refuse to take up. Here we have a couple of infestors on the way. Oh. As Vipers, they almost overextend. So far, Reynor's still defending. Does go for a lane counterattack. Headed for the third CC. And we'll get a couple of SCVs. And we'll catch out a couple of workers. Does hold position micro. SCV's going to be going down. Vipers, they move into a duct. Going for the powerbomb even. Yeah, medevacs are going to get caught out. That's going to be 7 SCV kills. Oof. Medevac's taking some hefty damage. Oh, was that an infestor? It was. Okay. Maru catching out one of the infestors. Let's catch one. Oof, medevac's going to be going down. Full medevacs as well. Ay, ay, ay. And for now, it looks like Reynor's just happy to just keep up with the drop play. But this is allowing Maru to expand. He's getting a 5th. He's getting his 5th base. If you recall, I was expecting Reynor to deflect one of these pushes and then to counterattack and try to knock down some of these bases, but has yet to really commit to any kind of push. Oh. Did notice some frames dropping. Hopefully we're okay. Maru still being active. Catching out a couple of drones. So far, Reynor reacting well. I keep thinking that this is like a drop. I keep I'm looking at the minimap. Ay, ay, ay. I think I've panned over like 2 or 3 times. And Maru, he's slowly perfecting his army. As we build up into the late game, we have Ghosts being incorporated. We have more starports into Liberators, Fusion Core as well for Liberator range. I'm still a little bit surprised that Reynor, I understand that he wants to stay with a more mobile composition, but to even just work on like a Lurker Den or an Ultra Cavern just for the upgrades as well, just to be ready for that kind of tech transition, or Spire as well, feels a little bit odd, considering that Reynor does have a massive bank as well. Like it's not like he doesn't have resources to spare. So I'm concerned that might hurt him in the long run, but we'll see. Nice snipe. Hatchery goes down. Maru claiming a 6th expansion. Again, Maru, he can't be allowed to expand like this. Reynor's now moving out. Let's go to 3-3. Nice mine shots. Catching out some Zerglings. Hagwest catching a free tank, maybe able to collapse on this CC. I want to go for the main fight instead. Dragging the mine shots. Oh my god. Massive mine connections. Rough engage here by Reynor. As when the Similar's on with the mines. Oh my god, the mine shots. The value connections despite that. Ooh, 11 SCVs go down. Still finds damage. Again, this is maybe the best fight that Maru could hope for. He just dragged the army into the minefield. Oh no! Despite that, still losing workers. And will not lose the planetary. We'll finish up. Okay, just a very shaky engage here from Reynor. Forward base is getting up and running. And Maru, can he establish this position? I mean, Reynor now has a target. It feels like we've been a little bit... I don't want to say lost, but like Reynor, he's just been stuck defending and still trying to keep up and has allowed Maru to build up. But now there's a sense of urgency here for Reynor. Like finally, there is a sense of urgency to deny this base. As he does abduct, catching up to the Liberators. Mainly's going away the main army. Planetary is getting low. Yeah, Ghost is zoned away. They will survive, but the planetary will fall, and that's what matters. Yeah, the base will fall. Ghost, they do kite back. Yeah, they kite back, they kite away, but still the base goes down. We trade a hatchery for a Nexus, sorry, for a planetary. Better trade for Reynor. Maru did end up losing some ghosts here. Oh, yeah, was it the changelings? Did they first shot they locked him in? That was how many? There was 6. Oh, 6 ghosts going down. Some brutal losses. Nuke on the right hand side. We'll see if Reynor notices. Uh-oh. Reynor. Reynor. Oh, no, he doesn't see. No! Nice damage. 17 drones going down. Very nice nuke here by Maru. So we have a bit of a back and forth here, but Reynor still has a bank. Still has a bank. And Reynor, I believe, is unaware of that southern base. Doesn't know. So far as unaware. Or he's holding his own. Like, the nuke was great. Unfortunately, like, Reynor's still in a solid position, but Maru, he is stabilizing. Like, he's building up, he's securing his bases. He's slowly perfecting that army. Now, finally, we get the Lurker Den. This does feel like 10 minutes late. Like, we're getting there. Maybe it was overconfidence out of Reynor. That he didn't think he would need to take up. So maybe some overconfidence. Or again, just tunnel visioning. Oh, the ghosts are left unattended for a moment there. And catching out a couple of ghosts at the same time. Massive link counterattack breaking through the front door. Gets into the natural. Reynor's getting in. It's trying to get into production. There's a secondary wall here coming into the main. The wall is going to be broken. 9 SCV kills. And counting. 11 workers going down. Depots to do full. Lings, they catch up more of the production. Reynor, he does get some breathing room. At the same time, he wants that planetary. And he's going to get it. Maru's out of position. Again, Maru, he had to race all the way back home to defend. Planetary goes down, and we can keep pushing. We can keep going. As again, Reynor still doesn't know about bottom rights. Like, this space should be killed. It should be gone. Reynor, he's not aware, Pappy. Does keep it up. Once again, Reynor a little bit out of position. There's just no creep here. There's no creep. So Maru's able to set up his minefield and his liberators. Oof. Snipes going off. Liberation is set. And Reynor, he has to back off. He has to back off. He cannot defend. This expansion is going to go down. Massive pickup here by Maru. Takes on the base. Likewise, Reynor, he has yet to expand here on the left-hand side either. So we are lacking some of these bases. Oh. We do have a nuke. Oh no! Ghost is being cheeky. Yeah, Ghost is caught out. Maru, he rotates towards the left-hand side. Once again, catching an expansion. Reynor, he has to respond. But once again, he is late. Or he gets another hatchery. Another base goes down. Another base falls. Meanwhile, D's and the EMPs. Catching out one of the Vipers. God, there are so many Liberators. Two of them get caught out at least. Yeah, two go down. Reynor trying to engage off a creep into more Liberation zones. But he shouldn't be able to engage like this. Yeah, a bit of an overextension. Does get some SCVs. 11 workers go down. But Reynor's been burning. Now he scouts. Now he sees. Now he knows. But Reynor, he's been burning through his bank. Reynor, he's broke. He's been losing bases, losing workers. Reynor, he has no mineral bank. And again, he's been stuck with Lingbane Hydra. And I would say for the first time this game, Maru, he's looking in control. I say for the first time, when we saw the base go down earlier. But Maru, he's getting in control here. Reynor, he's stumbling. Reynor now with a little drone counts. Lacking bases. Lacking the economy. And stuck with a very mid-tier army. The issue here is that Reynor's army is built to trade. And without a bank, we can't really trade. It's not known for its efficiency. Let's catch one of the ghosts. Yeah, it does catch a ghost. Ugh. But I cannot move into these liberation zones. There's too much freedom. As best as they try to move in. Nice spread out of Maru. Yeah, he spreads well. Despite that, oh, that's going to be a lot of ghosts falling. Yeah, a bit of a messy fight here, but in the end, Maru, he does hold on, takes down the base, that's a kill, not a cancel. Shuts down the Hydras, and Reynor, he's running out of steam. He's running out of steam, running out of army. Heavy losses for Reynor, losing all the Hydras. GG gets called, and Maru ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A bit of an awkward game, I will say. GG, well played. As again, it felt like Reynor, he had a lot of map control for a good amount of time, but there was no urgency on Reynor to really apply any pressure at the 4th location. It looks like maybe he was waiting for the 5th base, but once the 5th base got up and running, like Reynor, he wasn't really able to deny it. Likewise, was unaware of the bottom right-hand base either. So Reynor, who was lacking some of that information about the other expansions. Likewise, Reynor, who was stuck on Lingbane Hydra, he chose not to take up. There were a lot of opportunities to try to build up into a different kind of composition. He chose to stick with a more mid-tier army, which is supposed to be very mobile, very flexible, and ideally you're able to knock down the 5th base time and time again. But once that stops happening, once you fail to break down those bases, then things start to get more dicey there for the Zerg player. Things become more difficult, and you're stuck with an army that can't really achieve too much here. GG. GG, well played. With that, a very nice recovery out of Maru as he does tie up the series, and now we're getting into game number 3. Let's go. Going to be loading into White Rabbit. Let's go. But again, a bit of an awkward game there out of Reynor, and again, maybe just a little bit too complacent, it felt. Maybe a little bit too complacent. As we're loading into game number 3. Loading into White Rabbit. I will say as well, the other thing that's a bit of that's concerning for Reynor is that Old Republic is supposed to be his map. As I mentioned previously, like, it's supposed to be more difficult for the Terran player to establish all these bases and to build up into 4 and 5 expansions. Like, this is supposed to be difficult, and we've seen even Maru struggle with that in the past. But Reynor, he wasn't able to punish as we would expect, and that doesn't bode well coming into some of these other maps here. So we'll see. We'll see if Reynor can make up for game 2 as we're loading into White Rabbit. Here we go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Onside. It is Maru. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, the Italian Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Here we go. Reynor with the head here, sorry, with the bed here. Here we gotta wake up. We gotta lock in, Pap. You gotta. Hi. But again, Reynor maybe just a little bit too hyper-fixated on that mid-game, on that Link Bane Hydra composition. Eventually did fall off and did get outscaled throughout the course of the game. Was kind of stuck on it for too long, or was lacking that economy to sustain it as well, and with that, Maru did snowball out of control. So very impressive that Maru, he was able to pull that off on the Old Republic. Now welcome to White Rabbits. White Rabbits is another one of these larger maps that can be very difficult to defend on and to build up into a higher base count. It's a little bit different to the Old Republic. Here the bases are much more spread out. There's a lot more distance here in between your 3rd, 4th, and 5th base. As a result, map control, map awareness is paramount to keep up with your opponent's army rotations. It can be quite difficult if you miss a rotation, if you miss an army, to defend some of these fringe bases. As a result, we often do see like a centralized like 4-base setup here, but the 5th base should be much more difficult to take. I say should be, I mean, hey, I was saying the same thing about the Old Republic, but I feel like eyes are mainly going to be on Reynor here to see how he does adjust, to see how he will approach the rest of the series after game 2. We'll see. For now, hatch gas pool, standard opener here out of Reynor. So we are going to be calming down and settling in. Only now he starts to build investors. Kind of badass. I mean, so I should also emphasize as well, when it comes to this heavy Link Bane Hydra style, it can work. You can stick with it, like, throughout the entire game, even in a longer game state, but only if you're doing economic damage. Only if you're denying the 5th. If you're denying the 5th base and applying pressure to the 4th base as well, like, if you're able to pull that off and stifle the economy of the Terran player, then sure, you can stay on, like, a lower, like, Lair Tech army. Like, that's fine. I say Lair Tech with Hive Tech upgrades, of course, but the moment that you fail to start to knock down those bases, then things start looking very rough for the Zerg player that's stuck on that Link Bane Hydra. So the style that Reynor was playing, it has its place in the meta, that is true, but there are some kind of like prerequisites. There are some other factors that determine how successful that can be. But now Maru does poke in, catching out a couple of Zerglings. Oh! And does pull away in time. Behind this back at home, we do see a 3rd CC. Remember last game, we did have a 3 CC 3-max out of Maru, having a very greedy build into a stronger mid-game. Here we do see a more standard 3rd CC before Starport. This is more what we expect, aside from the fact that we did open up Double Reaper. As a building up into our 1-1-1 into potentially even Banshee play. We shall see. So now we are going to be opening up. There's that tech lab on the way. So I did notice that this was going to be a later tech lab, and it looks like we're not going for the add-on swap in a Banshee play. We're going to be opening up Liberator instead. So going for a Liberator-based opener. No cloak. Maru does poke in. And we'll see what kind of damage you can get done. Because we're not going for the add-on swap, it does mean we do have an earlier stim timing available for our Terran player. As we're keeping the tech lab on the racks. So earlier stim. No Banshee. Liberator does move out. We actually go for a second Liberator as well. Okay. Interesting. And there's no second racks yet either. How many Hellions do we have? 6. We're about to have 8 Hellions. I'm curious if we go a little bit harder here. Are we going to get an armory? No, double eBay. Okay, double eBay on the way. Liberator into the main. We'll distract the queens. Hellions push in. Looking for an opening. They rotate over towards the third base. Queens out of position. Ooh, but there is Sim City. Yeah, there is the Evo chamber. Hellions, they do get into the mineral line. Drones are lining up. Oh my god, getting 1 so far. 2. And the drones, they get away. The drones, they do get away. Hellions are going to be forced back, and Reynor does hold. Whew. Reynor, he holds, he defends. Oh. Uh-oh. Who is it? No, Reynor! Now we know who it was. So earlier, we did notice some latency issues in-game, and it might have been Reynor, as it looks like he has disconnected completely, actually. Oh, as you can see, we've also lost Reynor's cam. Ay. So, hopefully everything's okay, but it does look like Reynor's entire internet went down. Otherwise, we'd still have his cam feed. So hopefully everything's okay. And, I mean, the last thing we would want is potentially for there to be like a power outage or something in the area. Oh. This reminds me a little bit of Dark. If you remember, when we were casting KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, we were casting Dark in the semifinals. I think he had just finished his series, but Dark, his internet went out. He lost internet in his apartment complex, and yeah, Reynor does disconnect. But Dark, his apartment complex lost internet, and so he packed up his stuff and he went across the street to a PC bank, to a PC cafe. Went across the street, and he played the finals of KSL in a PC cafe. It was the finals against Hero, if I recall correctly. Yeah, it was fortunate that there was such a close PC cafe or PC bang for Dark to go to. But that happened last year. Obviously pre-military service. Last year. Oh. But do we have any news on Reynor? But yeah, hopefully everything's okay. It looks like he... Okay. I think he's back. Maybe. Uh-oh. Oh, no, I need Kronos. Where's my translator? They're all talking in Korean. Un momento. No. So Maru's asking something. He's like, "Hey guys, is the Zerg change noticeable?" And and Ryung, he's asking Maru's like, "What do you think?" And Maru's like, "I don't know. That's why I'm asking." They're all laughing. No. That reminds me actually of Hero. I remember it was last patch. It was the last patch that we had back in November, right? With the storm patch. I remember the patch went live, and that week Hero, I think it was a Pigasar Cup. Hero played in Pigasar Cup. And he played the tournament. He was in the finals, and mid-series. Here he asks, "Oh, is the patch live?" like he played the entire tournament without realizing that the storm patch had hit. That hit the live version of the game. He had no idea, and just like mid tournament, mid finals, it was like, "Oh, was something different?" It's like, God damn it, here, God damn it. Maru saying, I heard you die even if a ghost just grazes you. It's referring to TVZ. Looks like we should give them stim. She's like, can't you feel how powerful the ghost is? They're just bantering. Maru's like, I don't feel the strength of the ghost. But they're all just... So Shin, Maru, and Ryung, they're all just bantering in the lobby chat. Or bantering. But again, we are waiting for Reynor at the moment. Again, Reynor, he is MIA. I don't know if we've actually gotten an update regarding Reynor. Okay, we got an update. So he's coming. Reynor's coming back. But his internet did cut out. But he should be returning. Yo, speaking of Kronos, let's go. He's in the chat translating. Shout out to Kronos. Ghost is so weak, so Ghost must need stim pack. Yeah. But nervous when Bailey's come close. I need to move away. Yeah. We did see that during the previous game as well. Kronos arrived in the chat just as you asked for him. Yeah. We have our Kronos, pappy. Let's go. Big shout out to Kronos. So, those who don't know Kronos, he is one of the ducklings, one of the CranKy Ducklings, Korean CranKy Duckling, kind enough to provide some translations every now and then for us. So, big shout out to Kronos. He's in the SOOP chat. In the SOOP chat. And Reynor has returned. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're good to go. So we have Reynor. He has returned. He's returned to us, Pappy. Don't think his camera is working though. I haven't noticed. But let's go. Let's jump in. Hopefully it does reconnect during the game. Otherwise it's all good. So we're going to be loading back into White Rabbits. Again, we're going to be resuming from replay. Thankfully, like, nothing crazy had occurred yet. I say that we had the Liberator harassing in the main base. We had the Hellions poking in. If you recall, as we do... So there we go. We have our cams back. But if you recall, we did see Reynor. He was able to defend against the Hellion dive, losing only 2 drones. So minimal losses out of Reynor. He was able to keep up, able to defend. And from here, we're getting into said early to mid-game. Wait, we're delving into the mid-game. Jump back in. I'm bearing in mind that we do have 3 series here tonight. We do have the both semifinals, then the grand finals thereafter. We're getting into it. Beautiful. As here we go. Here we are back. The Hellions, they had just gone for the dive. 2 drones had gone down. Hellions, they pull away. And so far, Reynor, he is keeping up. Impressive defense so far. Second Liberator making his way towards the 3rd base. Hellions have rotated towards the natural. And again, it's still on Reynor to keep up with the aggression. It's still on Reynor. Does rotate. Hellions, they attempt to go for the dive. Lings are coming from behind. We once again for the mineral. If we go for the mineral line. And does not make it in. Nice positioning with the queens. And so far, solid positioning. At the same time, Liberator in towards the natural. Catching out 2 drones. Just the 2. And Reynor is keeping up. So far, so good. It's keeping up, Pappy. Oh, there we go. Sorry, just fixing up the score screen. Fixing up the scores. Liberator does go down, Reynor he does hold, and Maru behind this will expand, claiming his 3rd base, building up into his bio, 1-1 upgrades on the way, stim, combat shields, building up into that mid-game. The Hellions so far have at least done some damage, a couple of drones, more importantly forcing out all these Zerglings as well. As Maru he will maintain his presence, denying creep. Let's go. Yeah. Again, does poke in, does pull away. Give Coach rocket launchers ammo. True, true. Give them a secondary weapon. They can like switch back and forth between sniper and rocket launcher. Give it then allow the Terran player to go into like first person view, like POV, like that's now a nice move here. Maru does deny the expansion. That's gonna be a cancel. Denies the 5th. Denies that 5th base behind this. Reynor is going to go for a Spire. Okay, we're going into Lingbane Muta. A very risky maneuver here by Reynor. So when it comes to Muta play here in ZVT, as the army does move in, funnily enough, we were going to be discussing this earlier, as there was a comment asking for Muta play earlier in the chat. But now just straight with the queens, a 1, soon to be 2 queens going down. Bailey, so they do connect. Oh, not quite, but they force a pick up. They force a pick up. In the endlings, they bust into the mineral lines. SMV is going to be going down, and Maru gets caught with his pants down. Massive damage here across the map. Ay, ay, ay. Forget about the mutas, might be the lings. They delay the expansion. 16 SCV kills. We're still not done. That's a cancellation on the 4th expansion, and Maru, he's caught out completely. Just so fixated on the aggression across the map. Nothing to defend back at home. 20 SCV kills. We're still not done, papi. We're still not done, and Muta play is just going to be the icing on the cake at this point. I was going to say that Muta play can be very risky. If it goes unscouted, it can pop off. If it's scouted, though, it's so difficult to make them pay for themselves and gain value. But again, before there's any mutas, Bailey's just snowball out of control, smashing into the main army. Oh my god. Some crazy connections. Mine's going down as well. And that's 45 SCV kills, and we're still not done. The 3rd base has been broken, and Reynor, he will take a lead. He'll take a lead here. May have lost his internet, but he's regained his confidence, pappy. True, just send it. GG. GG gets called, and Reynor, he will take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. Reynor, he will take a lead. Again, just was able to find an opening after defending back at home. As we did note, Maru, he was very committed when it comes to his Hellion Marine aggression. As a result, not much of him to defend. Lings, they just made the way into the natural, into the main base. The walls were open, the walls were down, and with that, Reynor does snowball out of control. Snowball's out of control. GG, well played. And Reynor is now 1 game away from claiming the series. GG. Again, we didn't even get into Muta play at all. We talking a little bit about it. We were going to discussing, of course, that Muta play can be very strong if left unscouted, but if it's seen ahead of time, then it can be very difficult to really gain any value with mutas. Mutas are very fragile. They're very, very fragile. They're very mobile, that is true, but can be punished if scouted ahead of time. So typically, Muta play is very risky. Didn't really influence this game, to be fair. But we do see it mixed in, though. For sure. Ever since the previous patch, which did allow Muta play to be more accessible, if you recall. I believe it was the same patch that we had the storm change. Same patch. But here we go. As we are getting into game number 4, going to be loading into Ruby Rock. So once again, we're going from a larger map to now a smaller map of the map pool, and typically I want to favor Terran players on these smaller maps to be more aggressive, but as we did allude to earlier, as I did mention, due to the changes in the PTR, it should make for an easier defense. What were those changes? One, queens are cheaper, so you can go into a mass queen count early on like we could in years past, so that does make for a stronger early game defense. Likewise with the lava change as well, it does make for stronger economy, earlier droning, and likewise stronger production for your main army as well. We'll see. We'll see where our players take us. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran player himself, representing Onside. Down to the series, he has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is Maru. Bam. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Italian Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing Basilisk, leading the series 2-1. It is Reynor. Here we go. As we are getting into game number 4 here again, Reynor, he needs one more game to claim the series. Welcome to Ruby Rock. Again, Ruby Rock has a shorter rush distance by ground, and as a result, early timing attacks can be hitting very, very hard on this map. But I'll be honest, we haven't really seen Maru be too aggressive, even on Tourmaline. Maru, he's been very active with drop play in the mid game, that is true, but outside of that, we haven't been seeing these kind of like big, crisp timing attacks. Meanwhile, that is a pool first build out of Reynor. Hello. What's going on? Okay, so it's going to be a pool hatch opener into a delayed gas out of Reynor, I'm assuming. So interesting setup, interesting build. We have seen Reynor do this in the past, and I believe his rationale has been that in the past he has expected, say, like proxy play and proxy raxes out of his opponents. I want to say that Reynor recently went over some of his series analysis against Maru during the Thunderfire tournaments earlier in the year, and he did kind of like speak on his fear of something like proxy play and trying to like read that or counteract that as well. So we do see the early pull into a hatchery. This is not going to be for an all-in. Remember, gasless build here by Reynor. 6 things are on the way, and we'll see if Reynor can bypass the first Reaper and delay the CC of Maru. It's a way to just shut Maru early on, and also if Maru was going for a proxy, to shut it down. We see that is not the case. Also, typically, because the gases are so late, usually Zerg players will be skipping link speed in this kind of situation. They skip link speed, they go into, say, a faster lair or faster roach play. We'll keep an eye on Reynor to see if he does pull out after 100 and what he spends that first 100 gas on. Reaper does pick in, and Reynor, he slips by. Maru, he will scout the spawning pool. He's unaware of the natural base timing, though. Yeah, there was no SCV scout, true. Yeah, no SCV scouts. Jordan gets low. Reaper gonna be pinned back. Oh my god, the Reaper barely gets away. At the same time, there's a cancel. There's a cancellation. Massive pickoff. The wall is open. Links do slip in. And can we delay the CC even further? Ooh, kills one. Kills one SCV. Can we get 2? Not quite. Yeah, not quite. It does. Yeah, 2 SCVs go down as he does snipe the building SCV as well. Very nice damage. Cancels the CC. Kills 2 workers. Delays the backup CC as well. And Reynor comes out ahead in the early game. It does come out ahead. A shaky start for Maru. Shaky, pappy. So the pressure is on. Does go for a counterattack. Does pull out a gas here. Will still go into link speed. It's going to be delayed link speed out of Reynor, but he will still invest. Reapers take him into the mineral line. He wants drones. He gets 1. Yeah, 1, 2 drones going to be going down. Okay, does get 2. Just 2 workers so far. No queen on the low ground. Oh, more drones going to be falling. Reynor getting picked apart here. Again, it was a decent start at a Reynor, but he fails to defend against a counterattack. They're losing 6 drones early on. Ay. Reapers are finally being chased down. Lings in position. Nice cleanup. But that's still 7 drone kills. And with that, Maru, he's recovering. Behind this, going for a 3rd CC after the factory. So it's a nice counter damage hit by Maru, but honestly, Reynor can recover faster than normal due to the PTR change. So faster recovery is droning up. And the pressure is still very much so on Maru. Elites are spotted. Reynor now at the follow-up. Again, link speed is done, so Reynor, he should be able to keep up. And we'll see if Maru can find a way in. Behind this going double eBay. Okay, double eBay, double upgrades. We're not going for any kind of crazy 2-base all in, and we're just building up into our economy. And again, the pressure is still very much on Maru to try to equalize. As the game will slow down. StarCraft goes confirmed? True, true. Yeah, with this Maru, he's going to be stuck at home at least until he can build up his stim. So again, Maru, he's stuck at home, going for his own 3CC 2-on-1. Second Rax is on the way, eventually the Starport, eventually Medivacs. Until then, Reynor is free to drone, and be greedy in doing so. So getting up to full 3-base saturation, 4th hatchery should be on the horizon. Double Evo chambers as well. Double upgrades before the lair. And Reynor's getting comfortable. It's getting comfortable. As Reynor does go for the southern 4th base. Okay, interesting. Does expand on the south side, spreading his creep. Reynor, he will spot the 3rd base as it's being taken. Reynor is aware. And we'll see if Reynor decides to tech up even further. For now, we're setting up for Ling Bane, but if you recall, in Game 1, we saw pure Ling Bane into Hive Tech into Ultras. We then have seen some Ling Bane Hydra play as well. We'll see how safe Reynor wants to be. I was all behind the rationale behind going Hydras on Old Republic, but we saw it kind of fall apart a little bit, and Reynor maybe tunnel vision a little bit too much. I'd hope we see a little bit more urgency out of Reynor in the mid game here. As Reynor, he does spot the move out. Reynor's aware. Do we have a nest? Uh-oh. No? Oh, so we do. We do. No bailing speed, though. Marines, they move in. Ling Bane is out of position, and this hatchery is going to be forfeit. And again, Reynor, he saw the move out. He saw the army. He saw it coming. Despite that, the hatchery goes down. Reynor was not ready. And behind this is going for the Spire. Ooh, cheeky move here by Reynor. I do like this considering the position that we're in, right? Like, Maru, there's a lot of pressure on him to find some damage and to be active. But I don't know how concerned Maru's going to be with scouting and checking for tech. We'll see if Reynor gets away with it. The scary thing, of course, about this map is because it's so small, move-outs like this do hit very, very quickly. And if Maru does catch wind of what's going on, he can punish Reynor quite hard. Another cancel. Another denial. Reynor's trying to keep up. 2-2 now, more than halfway done here for Maru. And the Spire's not done. Yeah, Spire's complete. We have 9 units on the way. So far, Maru's unaware. He's unaware, Pappy. And as a result, no turrets. Right now, the bases are vulnerable. They're exposed. We'll see if Reynor goes straight for the economy, or if he does feel the need to catch up with these medevacs and shut them down, and shut down the drops. It's gonna be one or the other. Oh, ooh, scan. I don't believe saw the Mutalisk. It was close though. Double drop into the main base, and music turn around. Okay, okay, we're going for the drops. Right, he's going for the drops. For going economic damage. He will catch us out. Yeah, we're just going to try to buy time. Yeah, SOOP are actually going to go down. So nice clean up here by Reynor, and Maru now has time to respond with turrets. Turrets are being thrown down back at home. He's setting up here in the mineral lines. But the drop play should subside. And now Maru has to turtle up as he has lost map control. Maru has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Being forced to turtle up on Ruby Rock is going to be brutal. This map is very open, very accessible at the third base, the fourth base, the area in between the bases as well. It's not an easy map to defend on. Oh. And Reynor, he's maxed out. Now, over time, Maru, he's perfecting his army. More Widow Mines, Thor production as well. It's still going to be quite tense. Bearing in mind that mutas are very fragile. One wrong step and muta clouds can just evaporate. So Reynor, he also has to be very careful. Smart's being active, catching out all these Banelings. Very nice. Oh my god, the efficiency. That's what, 15 Banelings getting caught out? Aye, aye, aye. And nice catch out of Maru. He's bushing. He smells out in the water. Same time, Reynor going for the backstab. Oh, there's 3 turrets in the main. Jeez. Turrets are ready. More turrets on the way. Oh. And mines are connecting. Muta's going to be going down. So far, that's 3 muta kills. Using 3 mutalists. Now, thankfully, Reynor is taking up Hive. Hive is on the way, so we're thinking about something greater here. But Maru is now maxed out. He's got his Thors. Thors have arrived. The creep is going to be cleaned up. And Maru, he's trying to gain ground. Oh. Pushing further out. Yeah, Thors, they zone away the mutas. Still a bit of an awkward engage here from Maru. Sells for the queens. Okay. He backs off. He's going to throw away the supply. At the same time, Reynor tries to counterattack. It's going to be distracted. Yeah, distracted by the Metamax. Maru, he rotates to the south side as well. Catching out some free mutas. A little bit messy here from Reynor. Yeah, we're getting messy. Getting a little bit chaotic. Oh. Yes, once again, we need more Lings here. Yeah, we're lacking Zerglings. Ultra Cavern is now on the way, and Maru's pushing through. He's moving in. It comes down to the mine shots, the spread. I believe that was the only Widow Mine. Uh-oh. And they roll in. They roll in, they crash into the army. Only 1 Widow Mine, and with that, Maru has to get the hell out of here. He'll lose everything. Maru's cleaned up. Mutas, they move in. And Reynor holds. Reynor, he does hold on. The Ultra Cavern is almost done. Again, there was no backbone to Maru's army here. He only had the 1 Widow Mine. So Maru did overextend. Nice scan. Dust Bolt the Ultra Cavern. He's where the Ultras. Despite that, trying to be active, getting caught out. Oh, the Thor's getting surrounded. Nice pickup. Does save the Thors. Does try to. But the interception. Yeah, brutal interception here. Thors are caught out. They will go down. Losing 1 Thor. And now collapsing on the others. Oh, does try to. Nice control. And Maru, he juggles well, but he's losing so much on the ground. The Thors are saved. What about everything else? That's going to be 25 SCVs. The Bio Army crumbles. We tried a meal, but Reynor's done it. Reynor, he's broken the 3rd base. Killing every single SCV, forcing friendly fire as well from the tank. Oof. Got some brutal tank shots. And behind this, we have Ultras. 6 Ultras in production as well. Again, Maru did overextend and everything just snowballs out of control. That fight here in the center of the map was brutal. had allowed Reynor to gain map control, go for the counterattack, move out, break the third. And this is game-winning damage. It's game-winning damage here. GG gets called, and Reynor, he will claim the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Oh, he's so happy. GG, well played. I mean, I'm sure he's a little bit annoyed about the internet going down earlier. I mean, I'm sure you noticed as well, but Reynor, his camera was like was stuttering a little bit. We were dropping frames, and I did notice a couple of frames dropping in game as well, which I think might signify that Reynor was having some latency issues, but hopefully it does clear up throughout the course of the night, as Reynor will advance on to the grand finals. Maru, he is out of the GSL CK. He's out of the tournament. When it comes to the game itself here, again, we did see, I mean, I'm still very much so don't want to say perplexed, or I still feel a little bit, I'm still left wanting regarding Old Republic. Like, I can see Reynor just 3-0ing this series, but the Old Republic game was really odd. It was really weird. Like, it felt a little bit off, and it is possible that maybe like there was some latency issues and things that were bothering Reynor outside of just the game, which may have impacted that game a little bit. But yeah, I was still very impressed that that Maru, he brought it back and made a series out of it, despite certain things going against him, of course. GG, well played. With that, Reynor, he will advance on, and we do have our next series getting ready for us. Videos are underway. Up next will be the lower semifinals, Lambo versus Solar. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. We'll see you guys soon after the break. We'll see you soon, as we were not able to sub the ZVZ finals. Oh no, not like this. We'll see you after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the GSL CK, the GSL CK day number 2. We're here in the semifinals, and we are jumping into our fresh series. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the German Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg. We have the Red Zerg player himself, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. Looking suave, papi. Ay, ay, ay. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg player himself, it is Solar. Going for the 10 pool. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Ay, ay, ay. As I'll be honest, I have actually not really experienced any or very minimal ZVZ in the PTR. Whether it's PTR version 1 or PTR version 2, it's something that I just have not been able to really experience too much of. So interesting build here by Solar, again going for the 10 pool, I should emphasize. And Lambo going for looks to be a hatch first instead. With this Solar, he'll have early link production, of course. We'll see how committed Solar is going to be. We'll see if he does pull the boys with this. We'll see if he pulls the boys and commits, or if he does have something else more sinister up his sleeve. Meanwhile, I also do want to rectify something. Oh, I do want to rectify. Yeah, I see Icestan saying that apparently, according to some sources, lava buff was reverted in last night's patch. I believe so as well. That does now make sense as to Maru's comments. That's why I found it a little bit weird. But if you remember, Maru, he said like, "Hey, do you guys feel the Zerg nerf?" I was a little bit confused as to what he was referring to, but I guess Maru, he was referring to the lava buff reverted to like its original values. So it looks like that is not impacting this tournament in the semifinals, but did have its impact in the quarterfinals. So that's aye, aye, aye. But it is important to now be made aware of that. Again, I think I mentioned at the very beginning of the broadcast how there was like a ghost buff, or like a, so I say ghost, sorry. There was like a stealth patch. As here comes the temple links, they do get across the map, they get until the expansion, but there was a stealth patch which there was no like announcement about it, but a bunch of changes were made, and it looks like that was one of them as well. As things they do get on top of the expansion so far, dealing quite a bit of damage. The boys are being pulled. The hatch is getting low. Would you just fight? And how many drone kills? Getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is too much. This is far too much here. 6 drones going down. Critical damage is being dealt. Ay, ay, ay. And we're still not done here. More links are flooding across the map. And with that, Solar, can he even kill the expansion? Can he get all the damage? He gets everything. 12 drone kills. And the hatchery. GG gets called. And Solar takes a very cheeky lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. Solar disgusted in himself, Bab. He's like, GG, well played. Solar with the 10 pool Ling Flood here across the map. Lambo was unaware of what was going on. Again, the Lambo went for a standard opener, and with that Lambo, he was forced to pull the boys, tried to save the natural expansion, failed to do so. He lost everything, the boys and the expansion. GG. GG, well played. Solar takes lead in the series, and I'm sure Reynor's watching, by the way. I'm sure. Oh no, not like this, baby, not like this. So the hatchery went okay, so I should explain here before, because I don't want to spread misinformation. So the lava spawn rate was not reverted. It was still buffed, so the lava spawn rates went from 10.7, which was the original rate. It went down to 9 seconds in day 1. Day 1 of this tournament, it was down to 9 seconds for the lava spawn rate, and then for day 2 of this tournament, it went from 9 to 9.5. So it is still a faster spawn rate than the live version of the game, but it is slightly slower compared to day 1 of the PTR. so we did get an amendment to it, but it is still an increase. Like the spawn rate is still increased. So just for those that are maybe unaware, I'm just now being made aware of this. So it's still an increased spawn rate, but it has been minimized compared to last time. Unfortunately, we have almost purely ZVZs left tonight, so we're not going to be able to we're not going to be able to compare and contrast how that looks in some of the other matchups. I guess we could a little bit with the Reynor Maru series, but regardless, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we do have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg. The Blue Zerg player himself leading the series 1-0. This time droning. This time there's no 10 pool or 9 pool or anything of that nature. It is Solar. Here we go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the German Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Shopify. It is Lambo. Oh, not Reynor. Oh, I just realized that's... yeah, I'll fix that up soon. Let's go. Let us go. For those that are maybe unaware, because this is played on the PTR, the application that we use for player intros, as you can see, it automatically pulls data from the game when it comes to the player introduction. But for the PTR, it's a little bit broken, so I have to manually change it. So I do apologize for that. There we go. Lambo for Shopify. So intro should be fixed. Should be fixed. But otherwise, we are getting into game number 2 here. So far, standard opener, Hatch Gas Pool out of Solo, likewise at Lambo as well. Despite the chaotic nature of game 1, we're calming things down here in game number 2. Welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is a larger map of the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. As a result, we do often see some more mid-game play, but ZVZ is a very aggressive matchup in the live version of the game. I would imagine that's the case in the PTR as well, where we often do see 2-base all-ins. A lot of 2-base play, a lot of hidden Evo chambers, earlier Roach Warrens, save faster tech, rushing into a spy. In general, it's quite rare to see Roach v Roach in this matchup. I say Roach v Roach, it's quite rare to see kind of like 3-base play in ZVZ nowadays. But if we were to see it, it would be on Winter Madness for sure, for sure. Like there are certain maps like Winter Madness which do allow for more defensive play and for some more mid to late game play as well. So if we were to calm down and get into Roach versus Roach, it would be on this map. But we'll see. For now, third bases are being taken. Oh, we do see a hidden Bailey nest at a Lambo. Okay, let's go. I was like, if we were to get into a standard game, it would be on this map. But Lambo heard that. He's listening to the stream. He's like, nah, let's go. Let's double down, Bappy. So it's going to be a Bane bust at a Lambo, hyper aggression. And we'll see if Solar can recognize what's going on. Solar does have the faster third expansion. We do see the third base being thrown down here from Lambo. But again, Solar's unaware as to the tech of choice. Solar's unaware. Getting his own standard Baneliness timing here. Baneliness is almost done for Lambo. Links are moving out. And you can see here in the production tab, 14 links, 16 links in production. Again, as we mentioned, Lambo's all in. He's all in. This third base just for show. It's all or nothing for Lambo. So far, he's kept his army hidden. And ideally, these Banelings, yep, they morph in. We have 2 Banelings across the map. So far, out of vision of the Overlord. And now we pull the trigger. It's go time. It's now go time. And you can see here that with the standard Baneliness timing, it's not ready yet. Yeah, Solo's not ready. It's going to be purely a Link Queen defense. Second Queen moves down from the high ground, from the main. And here comes another pair of Banelings. You can see Lambo trying to bait out the army. Oh, Banelings, they do not connect. Going to be zoned away for now. Yeah, they're going to be zoned away. Meanwhile, the hatchery is surrounded. It's going to fall. One Baneling goes down. Oh, nice target firing on the Banelings. Oh my god, Solo, calm down. It does focus on the Banelings, and Lambo pulls away, and Lambo's droning. Lambo's droning up behind this. He successfully killed the third expansion. He's now up a base. It's now on Solar to counterattack. He's now on Solar. Zones away the army, surrounds the third expansion. This base is going to go down. Yeah, this... no, Lambo! He's trying to engage. Can he do so? Can he hold on? Yeah, the hatchery's getting low. Ooh, Baneling connects. And Lambo barely will hold on here. Saves the third expansion. Oof. Does trade 2 for 2. Trades Banelings. There's 1 Baneling left, and Lambo holds. Lambo, he does barely hold on to the third, and with that, Lambo takes a lead. Does take a lead. Solar, he's down in expansion, just now throwing one down. Lair is now on the way. It's almost done, actually, here for Solar. Does have that Lair advantage. And with this, what are we planning to do with the Lair? Spire play? Do we go into meters? Gases are being taken as we speak. It would make the most sense here for Solar. But we have Roach production underway for Lambo. He's being hyper aggressive. He's not slowing down. As I mentioned, Solo, he's trying to get away with Muta play. The Spire has been thrown down, but can he survive? Can he survive? Because we have those 6 roaches. They're coming. Solo trying to scout. Pokes in, spots the roaches. He knows. Yeah, it does spot the roaches. And you see Solo setting up back at home. He's getting ready for the all-in. Now, what's crazy is that Solo, he saw roach production. We can see that Lambo is droning. Lambo, he did make 6 roaches, and that's it. Only 6 roaches. It's a fake out at Lambo. Lambo's joining up behind this, and he's forcing a big overreaction by Solar, as Solar throws down 4 spine crawlers. Ay, ay, ay. So massive overreaction. Lambo's pushing. Solar's trying to buy time. Spire is almost done. Now, what's important is that I believe Lambo is unaware of the Spire, so this can still pop off. Yeah, mass cancellation. Solo does recognize that the all-in is not happening. Does cancel in time. Solo, I believe he just saw saturation at the 3rd base. He knows that he is behind economically. That's what the mutas are for. So Solo, he's not out of this yet. He is far behind economically. He's down like 20 workers. That is true. Spine crawlers on the way. 0 spores. How many queens? 2. Only 2 queens for Lambo. These mutas have potential. They have a little potential here. Oh. You just say that they now get spotted. Lambo knows. Lambo, he knows he is aware. We can see Solo just settling for overlords, and he will catch a lot of overlords here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 overlords going in. Can we get 6? Getting up to 6 overlords. Heavy supply block for Lambo. 7. Jesus. 8? How many overlords are we going to get in the end? Jesus. Oh my god. 6 so far. Again, getting up to 7, 8, 9 overlord kills. Massive damage. Heavy supply block for Lambo. And fun fact, Lambo, he actually has a Spire, but he can't actually make anything with it. Meanwhile, the hatchery went down to a lane counterattack. Oh my god. Sorry, we were just fixated on the mutas. Hatchery did go down. Lambo moving in, going for the 4th. Should force a cancel. Oh. Oh. Good trade. Yeah, mutas are backing him to defend as well. Ooh, 1 Baneling gets into the mineral line, no major connections, and Solo holds. Wow, Solo, he holds, he defends. Corrupted production has begun. Corruptors, they will help against the mutas, but again, Lambo, he has no 3rd expansion. How many? It's 12! I thought we were going to cap out at 10. 13! The missed rally! We're just throwing overlords away. Another supply block for Lambo. Another supply block. Ay, ay, ay. 5 overlords in production. Look after your overlords, Pappy. Look after them. Not like this. 6 overlords on the way. A laser, calm down. It was 13 overlord kills. So rough miss rally. And again, Lambo did not have a bad start to this game, by the way. To kill the expansion, to defend back at home, to save his own 3rd. But then did lose it. Lost the 3rd base. Mass muta does overwhelm. Cashing out all the overlords. Oh. And Solo, he's just amassing. He's normally out of control, just massing up his army. Bailey say waddle in. Thankfully, there are roaches in position. We have our roaches. Lings, they bust into the main. Ooh, they get past the Bailing. Ay, ay, ay. They do sit by. Muse will hit the 3rd. Catching up a Spore. A Queen as well. Or even just diving on the Corruptors. It's going to be a messy trade here for Solo, but Lings, they do get into the mineral line. There's nothing on the ground. There's nothing on the ground. Free damage here at the 3rd. Taking down 12 drones. GG gets called, and Solar, he'll take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. Yeah, GI is just sipping on that coffee. GG, well played. And again, there was a bit of a back and forth here. Lambo, he had a good start, as we try to emphasize. Lambo, he was able to kill the third expansion. He defended his own third base. He faked out the Roach all in, and Solar, he fell for it as well. But we saw that the Spy was never scouted, and Lambo was not ready for Muta play. Lambo, he was caught with his pants down. The pants were down completely. Mutas, they just wreaked havoc, getting so much damage done. Heavy supply blocking on Lambo, of course, gaining map control, dealing damage across the map, and just causing so much chaos, where Lambo couldn't even get into his own mutas. He wanted to, but he was supply blocked. GG. GG. And also, on top of that, eventually he did lose his own third base as well. He lost the expansion, was torn apart. And with that, we're getting into game number 3. Potentially the final game of the series. I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for a little bit more out of this series, but the pressure is very much so on Lambo. Is on. As we load into Tourmaline, one of the smallest maps in the map pool. Small map in the map pool, short rush distance by grounds. Let's go. See in the chats. Live is 10.7, then was 9, now moved to 9.5. Yes, as we did clarify earlier. But I think maybe that comment was made before I clarified. I'm not too sure. But yes, a bunch of changes were made. But here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing himself, but leading the series 2-0. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Red Zerg player. We have the German Zerg representing Shopify. It is Lambo. We go. Still looking suave, by the way. Like, I don't want to call Reynor out, but like compare Lambo with like well-kept hair, well-maintained, compared to Reynor's bed hair from earlier, which was like all over the place. It was, it's just the contrast is interesting. That's all I wanted to say. I want to give credit to Lambo because he's looking good, Pappy. And again, I can see game 2 going either way as well. Like Lambo, he had a strong start, just was a little bit caught out by the Muta play, and there was a bit of a frazzled response to that as well. I'm hoping for a longer series. Let's go. That's once again Lambo going for a hatch gas pool. Standard open down to Lambo. Meanwhile, Solar once again going for the early spawning pool. I believe this is not as early as game 1, but an early pool nonetheless. Going for a delayed gas geyser. With this, we have early link production, and we'll see how aggressive Solar plans on being, if at all. Okay. Okay, so Solar, he does go for a delayed gas geyser into a couple of early lings. Now, typically, if we're going to be going for gases as late as this typically means 2-base play. So there's a very high chance that Solar, he stays on 2 bases. He starts to wall off with an Evo chamber with Roach Horn and plays 2-base Roach or 2-base Lair into 2-base Muta. 2-base play, though, is what we're expecting because link speed is going to be so delayed compared to Lambo's build. It's going to be late link speed and late bailings, so Solar should be... He is sacrificing map control. As you can see, link speed is on the way, and it is far away from Solar. Like, it's not within sight. So again, this screams 2-base, just 2-base play. Whether it's 2-base Roach or 2-base Muta, yet to be determined. Could even be a 2-base all-in. Doesn't have to be, but there are options for Solar. So we have our Baliness being thrown down. Lambo fanning out. It does find these spotter lings. Better engage from Lambo. Oh, and are we going to commit here? 6 slingers on the way. The wall is currently open. Lambo does get a bit of a scout off, confirming lack of tech, at least on the low ground. It is going to be 2-base Lair to Solar, going for the Lair before the beginning of the wall. And Lambo's droning. Lambo's droning up. For a moment, I thought that he might just commit, but no, he's droning, he's saturating. And Solar will successfully wall off on 2 bases. Oh, now here comes the all-in. It's going to be close. It's going to be close here. So Solar, he does have the wall up and running, but remember, Solar, he has no Baliness because this build does skip Bailings. So it's going to be purely a Link Queen defense against the Bane Bust. Here we go. It's all or nothing for Lambo. The goal here is to try to punish Solar and kill him before we mass up those roaches. And remember, it was a lair first before the roach one as well. Yeah, Solar setting up that secondary wall. He does see the Link Flood. He's fully aware. Does see this with the Overlords. We do have a transfuse. Yeah, there's one transfuse available. Roach Warren does finish. Roach production has begun. Uh-oh. And do we transfuse? We do. Yeah, there's a transfuse as well. We have 5 roaches on the way. Backup Roach Warren as well. Things looking bleak here for Lambo. The all-in is failing. Yeah, the bust is failing. He will kill the queen. But we have a second wall already. And now we have 5 roaches. It's going to be close. Yeah, it's going to be close here. Links they flood in. Yeah, they flood in. They get us around. Does collapse on one of the queens. Yeah, he gets one queen. The boys are being pulled. Can we save the second queen? Roach is now popping out as well. It's going to be a close defense. Spine Crawler does finish. And again, Solar, he's barely holding on here. Does lose both queens. And Lambo, he's all, like, there's no turning back, right? Again, we are all in. There's no joining from here. Either Lambo kills Solar or he dies trying. As here comes the second wave. And I believe Lambo should break through the initial front door at least. But can he get on top of the roaches? Apparently they should be going for the Spine Crawler. They will. Yeah, Spine Crawler goes down. We flood in for the surround. And does get 1, 2, 3 roach kills. Not bad. Up. Can we break through? We can. I think Lambo might have done it here. He might have just done it. Oh, no, never mind. Roaches, they pop out just in time to defend. It's been close. Did kill the queen. Did break down the wall, but still not good enough. Yeah, still not good enough. Oh. Okay, as again, Solar, he's so quick to re-wall. Painless don't make it through. Does get us around, but GG. Yeah, GG gets called. We just run out of steam, and Solar, he will claim the series 3-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Solar. He will claim the series. He will advance on. Again, we saw some cheeky builds from both players, to be fair. Here we had, of course, the Bane Bust. We had the all-in out of Lambo. We did see the early Link Flood out of Solar in game 1 as well. So we did have a bit of a back and forth here. And again, I'm still thinking about game 2. Like game 2, like Lambo, he was in a good position until everything fell apart around him. But with that, congratulations. Congratulations to Solar, does claim the series. Lambo was unable to punish the 2-base play, and Solar, he ran away with it. GG, well played. With that, we're getting ready here for the grand finals. It'll be a best of 7 ZVZ between Solar and Reynor. That's going to be facing off in the grand finals. Players, they will need some time to get their vetoes underway, just as a heads up. Solar ZVZ is so strong, probably one behind Sarah a little bit. Solar ZVZ is very strong, like notoriously so. There was a era, there was a period in time, like maybe 2 years ago, where Solar had the best ZVZ in the world. If you remember, Solar, he was known as the Serral Slayer. This was back during the, I think it was during WTL. It was during World Team League when Solar was on onside at the time, if you recall. That's when Solar was popping off. But again, that was like 2-3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. It's been a while. Nowadays, it's still very strong, but I do rate Rogue and Shin ZVZ very highly as well. Like if you watch the Korean Zergs, like Solar, Shin, and Rogue, they often go back and forth. They go back and forth. All 3 of them are hyper aggressive and very, very in your face. They're very in your face. They're very aggressive. It's very high octane between them, and they often go back and forth. But all 3 of them are terrifying in ZVZ. Terrifying. But for now, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we'll have that final series. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. Just making sure. Is Blizzard seeing this? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they watch the PTR matches or if they just rely on feedback provided to them. Regardless, we always do ask to provide some constructed feedback, and I don't think there's when it comes to the PTR changes as well. I do think that it does bode well that Blizzard, after 24 hours, they did have an amendment patch. They had an amendment patch to change the lava rate, which is good. But very clearly, like, they feel like to talk a little bit about the goals of what this patch is supposed to entail. They very much so want to make the 8-worker starts like they want to make it like work, and to do so, like, they do need to try to find a way to improve early game Zerg. So their idea of doing that is to increase larva production, and it looks like that's something that they're sticking with. Like, there were some other ideas floated around as to how to try to fix that, or other ways to change the economy, or other ways to change the pace of the game when it comes to like moving the main base placement, or mineral patch placement, or removing or changing the macro mechanics referring to mules and injections and chrono boosts. Like, a lot of ideas were floated around. One of the ideas was to increase larva spawn rate, but as we have seen, after it was very quickly as well, like after 24 hours, making that change does impact the entirety of the Zerg, like throughout the course of the entire game, like throughout the early game, mid game, and late game as well. Whereas I don't think that was the intention, bearing in mind that specifically the early game was supposed to be targeted, and the early game growth of Zerg, trying to keep up with Protoss and Terran. So yeah, there were what looks to be some unforeseen and unintended consequences from that the Blizzard team was not aware of, and we'll see what happens. As I mentioned last night, though, what I'm hoping for at least is iteration, right? I just want to see iteration. I just want to see I want faster responses when it comes to changes being made to the PTR, is what I'm hoping for. But regardless, we'll see you soon. We'll see you soon with the grand finals. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the 2026 GSL CK number 4, day 2 here, the final day, the final series, the grand finals of the tournaments. I'm of course SI VIP. With me, I'm joined by these final top 2 players here. It's going to be a ZVZ matchup, Reynor versus Solar. When was the last time we had a ZVZ finals? It's been it's been a long time. It's been a very, very long time here. So we're jumping into another Zerg versus Zerg matchup here. Of course, bearing in mind this is the PTR edition as well. We're on the PTR. We're in version 2.1. Is that what we're going to be calling it here? As it has been a bit of a stealth patch to the PTR. It has made some changes, but regardless, we have our ZVZ, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the blue Zerg player. With the blue Zerg player himself, we have the South Korean Zerg. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. It's a 10 pool once again, by the way. We have the red Zerg player. We have the Italian Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Vamonos. Here we go. We're jumping into the grand finals here. Best of 7, by the way. Best of 7 grand finals. We saw this in game 1 versus Lambo, but Solar, he's going for a 10 pool. So 10 pool Link Flood out of Solar. We did see this catch Lambo off guard previously in the tournament in the semifinals, where Lambo went for a standard hatch gas pool, did miss the early Lings, was caught with his pants down, pulled the boys, lost all the drones, lost the expansion as well, and the game did end real fast and real quick. We'll see if Solar can pull this off again. Now, I'm certain that Reynor was watching that last series and watching that ZVZ between Lambo and Solar, so I'm sure that build is in the back of his mind. I'm sure he's aware of how Lambo responded, reacted, and I'm sure he has his own ideas as to how to correctly, or how to maybe adjust that response, and how to maybe even defend, save the natural base, and build up into a longer game. We'll see, as here comes a Link Flood. Here comes a Link Flood, here comes the 10 pool. As Lings are flooding out across the map. And also, as we flood across the map, if you want to help support the GSL, if you want to help support the GSL and GSL CK, you can do so via Patreon, patreon.com/GSL. The Patreon has been, or because of all the support on Patreon, we have been able to fund GSL CK, this monthly tournament series with a bit of a flexible format, some team league formats, some otherwise bracket formats as well. Has all been funded by the people, for the people. Likewise, GSL Season 1 and Season 2 also funded by the Patreon as well. Meanwhile, here we go. The boys are being pulled. Reynor, he has to minimize losses, make sure he doesn't lose as many drones. That's around. Oh no, he gets 1, he gets 2. Massive pickups. Very nice drone drilling here, and Solar does slip up. Yeah, Solar, he slips up his control with that 2 Lings already getting surrounded. Some brutal control there by Solar, and Reynor, he's holding. So far, he's doing well. Plenty of HP on the hatchery. Oh, does lose 1 drone. Not even. Oh, up. Ooh, 1 drone goes down. Nice pocket here in that mineral patch. Yeah, very nice pocket. More Lings have arrived. You can see Reynor buying time for his own Zerglings, buying time for his queen. And again, Reynor should be able to hold on here. Yeah, the game will continue. Now, once again, very nice drilling here by Reynor. Oh my god. He drills well. We'll lose 3 drones in total, but Reynor, he still maintains a higher worker lead at 19 drones to 16. So Reynor, he defends, he secures his natural base. Solar just now finishing up his own natural as well, and Reynor, he will take a lead early on. So again, a very nice control out of Reynor, very nice micro when it comes to the workers. Solar did slip up, getting surrounded early on. And with that, Reynor, he does have a comfortable lead here, droning, saturating, claiming his gas. Likewise, setting up. I should emphasize that, of course, Reynor did delay his gas geyser, but so did Solar. With that, Reynor catching out 1 of the drones. Does catch 1. And will pull away. It does pull away here. So again, Reynor, he is looking quite comfortable so far. Right now, the pressure's on Solar. When it comes to ZVZs, when it comes to mirror matchups in general here, having a worker deficit is brutal. It's very, very difficult to recover from this. The pressure is very much so on Solar. When it comes to, I mean, there are ways to do so. Say 2-base muta or Ling run-bys, Ling counterattacks, some kind of aggression. We'll see what Solar does try to get into here to try to catch Reynor off guard, to try to recover in this game. Link speed is on the way. Reynor stays in gas. As Reynor, he will lose 1 drone. Okay. 1 drone goes down. Solar, he does invest into link speed, but he's starting to wall off. So Solar, he's walling off on 2 bases, and what's important here is that this setup that Solar has at the natural makes it look like 2-base Roach or 2-base Muta. That's what it perceives here. That's what we're perceiving. What I mean by that is that Reynor should not be expecting link speed, right? Link speed should not be being researched, because the idea here is that Solar wants to go into Roach heavy play or Muta heavy play, whereas Solar is going for an all-in. You can see here he's going for a link flood. He's hiding all these Zerglings. Now, because of what Solar is showing to Reynor, Reynor should not have a Baneling Nest, and there isn't. There's no Baneling Nest, so Reynor's gonna have to defend with purely Link Queen. It's gonna be a Link Queen defense against a link flood from Solar. A Baneling Nest would be ideal here, but Reynor, based on what he's seen, should not have a Baneling Nest. So here comes the all-in. Again, massing up more Zerglings. We're still waiting for link speed to kick in. We have +1 Carapace on the way. Interesting, just revealing the upgrade. Solar now claiming his 3rd. Again, he wants to make it look like a standard build, and here comes that flood. Here comes Solar. A little bit premature here, as Reynor is about to confirm. Reynor, he's still droning, by the way. Oof, he's still droning up. Still has no idea. Now he does. Yeah, now he sees. Oh my god, massive catch. Yeah, massive revelation. Solar, he does commit across the map, but Reynor back at home. He has to evacuate the 3rd base. The 3rd base is forfeit completely. And we'll see if he can wall off. Yeah, Roach Horn is done. But again, Reynor, he's droned up so much. He was actually mid-transfer. No! Yeah, has to pull away again. Hatchery will go down. Oh, wants to bait out the army. Yeah, wants to bait him out and does almost get this round on the Queens. Casito. Queens, they pull away in time. Boys are pulled here to buffer. And once again, Reynor dancing with death. Does avoid that surround. Mosula's the expansion. And Solar, it's taken too long here. He does not get in. Yeah, it doesn't get in. Reynor, he will survive with a higher worker count on 2 bases. Remember, Solar's 3rd base is very late, so killing the 3rd base is not good enough. Not good enough. And Reynor behind this going for the Spire. So again, very good reactions here by Reynor to be able to evacuate, pull away, wall off the natural, avoid the surround. A lesser player would have just died. And now Reynor, he has that tech advantage. Reynor, I would say, is still in a better position. Still in that better position. Throwing down a wall of Spine Crawlers. Again, Reynor trying to get away with Mutas. A way to gain map control and to force back Solar. Solar still committed. As he's now droning. Droning, saturating, switching into Roach production. +1 range is on the way. Roach speed as well. Meanwhile, the Spire is now done, and we should be seeing Muta production soon out of Reynor. There we go. He's now on the way. Reynor scouting across the map as well. Will now confirm saturation and the army. Does get eyes on the Roaches. Now, I didn't see Reynor getting 13 Overlord kills like we saw from Solar in the previous series, but we'll catch some Overlords nonetheless. As here come the Mutas. Does find one. And the Overseer as well. So he commits across the map. He wants to end the game. He will cut workers here at 57. So he's sending it. Taking free hits, taking free damage. Ooh, and Solar, yeah, he pulls away. He does pull away at the same time. Massively counterattack. Gets into the natural. Do we surround? Not quite. Yeah, Queen does get away. Roach is getting surrounded. Links they peel off into the main base, and Solar turns everything back around. He races back home to defend. Going for the Hydrogen. Bleeding out drones. Queen should fall as well. And Reynor, he just overwhelms. Yeah, Snowball's out of control. Gaining map control. Going across the map as well. What's the anti-air looking like? Spores just now being thrown down. Only just now. Yeah, heavy losses for Solar. I see we lose Ravagers, Roaches, Overlords, everything, Pappy. Oh no! Links, they sit by it. And again, it's all falling apart. Just so much free damage on the Roaches. Reynor, he will abandon the main army. He goes across the map. He gets into the mineral line. He wants the queens. He gets one. He gets two. Okay. Gets two queens. A spore as well. And this is critical damage. Critical damage here came with the production. Going for the economy. Solar, he has to just F2 across the map. He goes for the all-in. The base trade. We're going for the base trade, that. Oof. We have queens. Defensive roaches. Reynor trying to hold on. We are fighting out of range of the spine crawlers, which is a little bit concerning. Uh-oh. Yeah, Solar is gaining some ground. But GG. GG gets called. There's nothing back at home. And Reynor, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Reynor, he will take a lead in the series. He got a very cheeky start out of Solo going for the 10 pull, but Reynor, he shut it down. He had a very impressive early hold. Solo's follow-up was to go for a big 2-base all-in. Did have a 3rd base behind that eventually, but it was a massive link flood, and Reynor was caught off guard. He was caught off guard. He had a very haphazard, a very last-second response to it, and he responded well. He evacuated the 3rd base. He pulled the boys, protected his queens, and was able to buy enough time for roach production. And with that, Reynor, he was able to hold on, defend, get away with his lair, and get into Spire and Muta play. And with that, he just snowballed out of control. Solo, he was forced into an all-in from there. He tried to get some damage across the map, but again, Reynor just had a massive lead, had enough mutas to punish, enough ground army as well. GG. GG, well played. With that, Reynor take lead in the series, but remember, this is a best of 7. Best of 7, plenty of games ahead of us, plenty of games to come. We'll see if Solo can bounce back. We'll see if Reynor can extend his lead. Let's go. Let's go. Screenshot. So ZVZ is balanced. I mean, I will say that PTR changes, like due to how mirror matchups work, especially like where we're not seeing anything too like egregious like here for sure. But it is a bit of a shame that the amendment patch happened after day 1, after we lost all the Protoss and most of the Terrans. Like we it's after we lost Clem, Classic, and Hero that like, okay, now we can try to like fix things up. I mean, you could also argue that they you know, they were like martyrs in their own way. You know, they went down just so that the change can be pushed through into the PTR, I suppose. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg down in the series, but we'll see if we can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player from the land of Italy, from Italia, papi, representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. We go. Oh. As we are getting into game 2. This time we're droning, we're saturating. Remember, game 1, Solar did start things off with a 10 pull. This time we are droning up, saturating, and building up into a standard early game. So far, at least. Welcome to Title Citadel. Title Citadel is a bit of a larger map. I mean, a little bit more so than, say, 10,000 feet or Tourmaline. And again, once again, I'll say that we haven't really seen too much ZVZ in said PTR either. Don't really think there are many changes that will influence ZVZ here outside of course, a larva change. Will allow for potentially a faster setup in towards the mid game. But so far, it's been non-stop aggression from our Zerg players. We'll see if that trend continues. Most likely will. Of course, we have our goal base here towards the bottom left-hand corner, which may factor in. I mentioned this previously, but I don't really expect to see too much mid to late game in this series, in ZVZ in general. It's quite rare to see. Like, very often we just see a lot of aggression, a lot of high octane in the mid game. So now we have our hatch gas pool, standard openers. So far, so good. You could make an argument that the queen reduction change will make it a little bit easier to reactively respond to like Spire and Muta play to be able to get into a slightly higher queen count. But even then, like, what's important is that these like we haven't had the chance to kind of have that kind of response. Like, Muta play did occur last game, but Reynor already had a lead, of course. Like, it's important to bear that in mind. Already had that advantage. So now Solar does pull one out of gas. Reynor does as well. This is a standard gets. Pulls one out of gas. From here we claim our third base into a safety Baneliness as well. We'll see if anyone skips their Baneliness, and we'll see if anyone goes for an early Evo chamber. But so far, this is the most standard ZVZ we've experienced the entire broadcast, including the previous ZVZ with Lambo and Solar. We're calming down. You know, yep, there we go. We have our standard Baneliness timings at 320. Baneliness are thrown down. And from here, we should get some safety banelings. From here, we might see one of the players invest into a heavier Ling count to apply some pressure. That's something that we could see. Otherwise, we should then drone up into 3 bases and then take up into roaches. So still looking for any kind of big deviation. Say an Evo chamber, roach warren, faster lair, earlier Ling aggression. Otherwise, we're calming down. So we do throw down our first Evo chamber from the side of Solar. Oh, Reynor going into a faster lair. Okay, interesting. So a much faster lair here by Reynor. This might be indicative of an early Spire. Bear that in mind. That was a little 417 there timing. Solo going for his Evo chamber into Roach Horn into a much more standard follow-up. Into a more Roach heavy style. +1 carapace is on the way. So with +1 carapace being built, there's a high chance that Solar may just not go for the lair at all and just go for like a hatch based all in with +1 carapace with Ling Roach Ravager or Ling Roach. Yeah, we're going for the Solar build. Usually when Solar does this, like the Evo chamber is a little bit earlier and it's hidden here behind the base to make it harder to scout. But the reasoning and the rationale behind going into Carapace is because this will impact all units here for Solar, the Lings, and the Roaches as we commit. And Reynor, he is rushing Spire. Does Reynor just die here? Like, do we... Because again, Solar's going for the all-in. He's committing. Roach production's underway. Lings are flooding as well. Solar plans on killing. Oh, baits at the Baneling. Oh, baits out one of the Banelings. Baits at the other as well. The Queen is under fire. Queen gets knocked down. Cashing out the Queen, shutting down another Baneling. Drone's going to be falling as well. Heavy losses here for Reynor already. Again, Reynor, he was so greedy rushing into mutas. He was greedy. He does get somewhat punished. But Solar's droning. He is droning up. He is getting a lair. Solar, he doesn't commit. Roaches are moving out, that is true, but Solar, he's droning up behind this. Like, he's not committing. So he reveals the Roaches. He does not commit. He pulls away. And which means Reynor, he gets away with the Spire. He's done it. We have a wall of Spine Crawlers just in case to survive it against the push. Wall of Spine Crawlers. We can cancel. Yeah, there we go. There's the cancellations. Reynor, he does realize now that it is not an all-in. He's like, oh, thank God. And Reynor, he will gain map control. Now, the question becomes, yes, he will gain map control, but with 7 more Roaches on the way, can Solar do enough counter damage to equalize? Can he potentially even break the third? Mutas are revealed. The pressure is now on Solar. As Reynor can now freely drone up. Freely drone. Solar, he has amassed up some Roaches. But then he will lose map control. And he's just droning. Yeah, Solar, he's just droning up. So Solar, he's going to try to stabilize and turtle up on 3 bases. Getting his own Spire. Faster upgrades out of Reynor. And Solar is running up heavily, don't get me wrong, but Reynor should be free to get a 4th base as he cashes out more Overlords. No transfuse. No transfuse back. And again, I do think that if Solar had committed with his +1 carapace timing with his Ling Roach all in, I do think he would have just broken the third base and might have even got more damage there as well. But again, Solar didn't know that it was going to be 2-base like Spire. Like, he didn't know that it was such a fast layer and such a fast Spire. He didn't realize how vulnerable Reynor was. As Reynor's poking in. Once again, just containing Solar. Doesn't quite catch the Overlord. We have 11 Corruptors on the way. Corruptor Queen should be enough to defend. So Reynor's coming in that fourth base. As we mentioned, because of Reynor's map control, he's free to expand and get a fourth. And Solar should be contained. Oh, hello. Yo, we're going for the goal. Okay. Cheeky moves out of Solar. I don't see him maintaining this gold base, but hey, why not? You miss all the shots you don't take. True. Sneaking out the gold. It's about to be scouted as Reynor tries to take it himself. Oh no. Not like this. Does find the gold base and will be denied. There's a cancellation. Now the real question becomes, can Reynor maintain this gold? How many Corruptors? 17. Gee, almost as many Corruptors as Mutas. Oh my, that's a very high Corruptor count. 5 more Corruptors on the way. So Corruptors, of course, they are amazing when it comes to playing against mass Muta. Like, Corruptors are very tanky, they're very robust. And they should be able to hold their own. The downside, of course, is that they're a little bit more limited in what they can accomplish afterwards because they can't harass anywhere near as well as Mutas. But in a head-on fight, I do favor them. Meanwhile, Lings, they do get us around. He gets 1, he gets 2. Yeah, 2 Queens do fall. The Spore, the 3rd Queen as well. Mutas overwhelm. Where are the Corruptors? Out of position. Yeah, Corruptors out of position. Nice damage here by Reynor. Ooh, he has to respect the Corruptors though. Yeah, he's got to respect them. When we spoke about this earlier, Corruptors, they cannot support the Roaches on the ground. And the Roaches, they get surrounded. Ay. Some heavy losses there for Solar. Bleeding out a wave of Roaches. As Reynor, he's abusing the immobility here of Solar. Trying to pull him apart. More Lings trying to move out. Oh. Running into Roaches. And Solar does make his way across the map. And we'll see if Reynor can engage. Yeah, Roaches, they break through. Reynor is stuck with Massling Muta, and he's going for the base trade. Yeah, he's going for the base trade. He ignores the army, goes across the map. Trying to catch reinforcements. Corruptors, they respond. Yeah, so far good reaction here from Solar. Keeps up the Mutalisks. Roaches, they kill the expansion. At the same time, Lings, they try to move in. And they will. Okay, they hit the main and the natural. They bust into the mineral lines. Drone's going to be falling. Roaches, they turn back around. Uh-oh. Solar does turn around. He did kill 12 drones across the map, but back at home he's losing 9. Losing 9 workers. Oh. Corruptors are able to engage. Roaches, once again, they rush past. Yeah, they rush past. Looks like the Corruptors are being overwhelmed. Yeah, there's just too many Mutas. Oh my god. I wasn't sure they could, but the Mutas, they will overwhelm the Corruptors. Every Corruptor is falling. At the same time, Roaches, they commit in. They're trying to push in towards the mineral line, but they barely cannot. And Reynor holds. Yeah, Reynor, he's holding, he's defending. The Mutas, they come out on top. Solar, he lost every single Corruptor. Yeah, lost Corruptors. He lost the air battle as well. How many Corruptors left? 18. 18 Corruptors against 31 Mutalisks. With +2. True. They have +2. And remember, the SOOP is lying too. The SOOP is lying too. Even though Solar does have the supply advantage, that is inflated due to Roaches. It is inflated supply. Likewise, Reynor, he has the greater economy, has the higher worker counts. And Solar, he can't do anything. He can't move out. He can't make use of this army. And he's barely even defending. Barely. Now, Solar, at this point, he's just building up into one big push. Just building up into one big move out. Speaking of, it's happening. Once again, Corruptors are overwhelmed. We're up to 32 Mutalisks. Oof. And once again, Reynor, he can just engage. What's important as well is that he does engage ahead of time before the roaches get across the map. So Reynor, he has time to turn around and to respond to this. As roaches, they move in. Reynor, he will lose the third. He'll lose the third base, but again, Reynor, he will eventually clean this up with the Mutalisks. Ah, no. And GG. GG gets called again. Solar, he just can't do anything here. Not with his roaches, not with his corruptors. And Reynor, he will snowball out of control with the mass muta. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Reynor, he will take a lead in the series. We'll take a 2-0 lead here. Again, winding it back. Solar, he didn't have a bad start to the game. If you recall, I mean, again, Solar he didn't know what we knew, right? Solar didn't realize that Reynor was being so greedy, rushing into the lair and rushing into the spire. We mentioned at the time, but Solar, there was a window there where he might have even just killed Reynor with his +1 and carapace timing. And Solar, that was the moment where Solar moved out with his lings. He killed the queen, he killed 3 drones, he denied mining as well. He was getting a surprising amount of damage with so little, but he was droning up behind it, right? He was droning, he was saturating. Again, Solar didn't realize how greedy Reynor was being, and as a result, once Reynor got into Spire play, into the mutas, I mean, that was almost game then and there, right? Solar was contained, Reynor was free to expand. We did see Solar invest into a heavy corruptor count, and he was able to hold his own, but upgrades amassed, and the reality is Reynor still builds up a greater Mutalist army and was able to pull Solar apart. When it comes to Ling run bys, Ling counterattacks, Muta play as well, in the end Solar's economy was crippled and he couldn't really keep up with his corruptor production, couldn't keep up with the Mutalisks. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're now getting into game number 3, and we'll see if Reynor can extend his lead. We'll see if Solar can begin the comeback. As we're jumping into Tourmaline, a very small map of the map pool. Small map of the map pool, short rush distance by grounds. Let's go. Let's go. Once again, as you can see here, muta play can be very oppressive, very, very oppressive if you can get away with it. And Reynor, he got away with it. Got away with it, Pappy. Here we go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner here of Tourmaline, we have the Italian Zerg player. Yeah, the Italian Zerg, we have the blue Zerg leading the series 2-0. It is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. Oh, let's go. Are we going for the same build? Are we both 10 pulling? Let's go. In the bottom left-hand corner, going for the 10 pull. So as his opponents, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg. It is Solar. Just realized I pressed the wrong buttons for the wrong intros, but it's fine. It's fine. Pappy. Yo, he's got his Team Vitality shirt. Let's go. Ah, blast from the past, Pappy. But here we go. We're getting into game number 3 here again. 10 pool versus 10 pool. Mirrored builds. The reasoning for this is because of the map itself. Welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a very small map of the map pool. Short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored, and both players are embracing aggression. And we'll see how this kind of unfolds. I would imagine we just kind of bounce off each other and we just get into a macro game from here. There's a world where maybe one player avoids the links of his opponents, right? We avoid the overlords as we will scout each other. Curious as to the pathing. Okay, we're just going straight across. We're just going straight across. So Ling's gonna be moving out. And we'll see how hard we commit from here. So we have our Ling production. Where's the Spider-Man meme? True. Let's go. As both players do scout each other with the Overlord, so they both know. Who hits first? Oh! Yeah, again, they do bounce off each other, and we drone. So Reynor is droning. Solar is not. Okay, no, there we go. So Solar, he does drone up as well, a little bit later. So we are just kind of bouncing off each other. Bouncing off each other. Droning, saturating. Getting into the early game. Solar, he has to back off. Has to pull away. Whew, hi. Okay, so from here again we can just drone up and saturate. Because the gases are so late, there's a very high chance we get into 2-base roach play from both players, and we might even go into 2-base meter. That's once we establish our natural, to be fair. Solo does have oh, he's actually at a link deficit. And it does poke in. And the queen does move down. And Reynor will be able to engage. Now, without the queen, Reynor, he should have enough here. The voids are being pulled to make sure the queen doesn't get surrounded. And Reynor holds. And again, Reynor heals up by 2 drones. So that's why the fight did go slightly in favor of Solar initially, but Reynor gets away with a higher drone count with a better economy. This is a better start for Reynor. It's a better start. Like, sure, you can say, like, oh, damage was done to the queen and to the hatchery. That doesn't matter, right? This is basically a resource that was used. It was just buying time. So better start for Reynor. Gas is now on the way. Solar does have a slight gas advantage over Reynor. That is true. And again, my question becomes, as Solar gets into main base, he does see the later gas geyser out of Reynor. And we'll see if Solar is tempted to go into a lair. Because he does know that his lair is going to be faster than Reynor's. 100%. What's going to be? Link speed. Okay, link speed first. Interesting. So this might be what we saw initially out of Solar on Winter Madness, where Solar walls off on 2 bases and then he hides a link flood. That's what this screams. But we're still mining gas. Interesting. So I'm leaning towards maybe like a link flood into lair, into spire. Reynor likewise walling off on 2 bases. Reynor, he should be skipping link speed and going into roach play into a lair as well. No, he also goes into... Okay. Great minds, they continue to think alike. Both players went into the 10... So they both went into the 10 pool, and both players are going into link speed into a link flood. Same follow-up. You can see here 14 links on the way for Solar. Reynor's also massing up Zerglings as well. They both have the same idea. Same idea. They're both animals. Ay. They're both synced up, Pappy. They're synced up. The Zerg brain, the hive mind. No. Now, there is a slight variation, of course. +1 carapace versus +1 melee. So a slight variance or slight differential when it comes to the follow-up. When it comes to the upgrades of choice, here we go. Solo does finish up link speed first. He does reveal his army. And Reynor's getting ready. He's getting ready back at home. Third base is exposed. Solo wants to lure him out. A link speed is still not done for Reynor. Still no link speed. But so far he's defending. Oh. Pulls back to the queens. Nice control out of Reynor. And nice control so far. Lings, they do get a surround, and can they force a cancel? Hatchery gets low, but does survive. In the end, does survive. We do see a roach follow up here by Solar. Again, the carapace leads into roach play. Melee less so. Oh, as Reynor does overextend. Yeah, a bit of a late reaction. Bleeding out some extra lings. And Reynor does spot the roaches. He's aware of the follow-up. He wants to surround. Can he catch the roaches? He can. Massive surround here. He catches out the roaches. Gets 1, 2, 3. 3 roaches getting caught out. Queens as well. Ay. Yeah, some expensive losses here for Solar. Gets caught out in the open. Likewise gets another roach surrounded. And that's what, 4? 5 roach kills? Not the Ravager though. It was 4. So 4 roaches go down. Behind this, more lings on the way. A handful of defensive roaches as well for Reynor. That's still 30 lings in production. That's a lot of Zerglings. It's a lot of lings, Pappy. And again, I'm imagining this is going to lead into Muta play, right? With all these 4 gases, with the lair finishing up as well, this should be for the Spire, in my mind at least. It lines up better with +1 melee. Yep, there it is. There's the Spire. So Solo's on a bit of a timer. Now, Solar, if he clicked on the Zerglings and if he sees +1 melee, it does scream Muta play. And you can see that Solar, he's not droning. He's not droning up. You can see here he's cutting works at 43. He's making more roaches, waiting for roach speed. And this should be leading into an all-in from Solar. to just strike with Mass Roach Ravager to try to kill Reynor before Mutaplay. God, there are so many links. Reynor dancing with the army, but he has to be very careful not to get caught out. Yeah, solo he commits. Remember, there's no roach speed here for Reynor. His roaches are lagging behind. And roach speed is almost done. Yeah, there are too many roaches. Too many roaches here. Reynor, I don't think he can quite engage. Reynor bleeding out roaches. Unable to catch reinforcements. And Soul is here. He's here to punish. He's here to punish, Pappy. So fun, nice kiting. Avoids the surround. Ooh, reinforcements are gonna somewhat get caught though, but there's still so much Roach Ravager here for Solar. And Solar, he should have enough. We have link reinforcements. Okay, we come in for the surround. Okay, never mind. Surrounds the army. Yeah, it comes in for the surround. Locking down the Ravagers. Very nice play here by Reynor. And is it enough? It's still close. We have 6 meters on the way. It's still close. Let's get a transfuse. Barely pulls back. Solo's overwhelming. Meters are popping up, but how many drone kills? How many drones are going to go down? How much economic damage? As meters, they will eventually clean this up. Eventually. But there are the drone kills. Yeah, they bust into the mineral line, getting 1, 2, 3, 4 drone kills so far and counting. And this is too much. This is far too much at this point. Quickly becoming critical damage. And in the end, Reynor did not get away with it. Didn't get away with it. So 12 drone kills. 12 drones, pushing into the main. Getting up to 16. More links flooding into the mineral line. And this is critical damage. Critical damage. Again, Reynor, he was greedy. He tried to get away with Mass Muta. This time he did not get away with it. This time Solo committed to the all-in. This is what I wanted out of Solo on Title Citadel, if you remember. It's what I wanted out of the game too. And with that, the Spire goes down. What you see is what you get. 14 Mutalisks. And back at home, all the Solo needs is spores. Spores are on the way. Queens are amassing as well. We have 1 spore in each mineral line. Additional spore crawlers just in case. Reynor, he's down to 10 drones. Down to 9 workers even. And these mutants, they got a lot of work to do. They're huffing some copium, Pappy. 100%. Where's she? I mean, there's a world where if we're lacking spores back at home, if the queens are spread out, then maybe. But yeah, GG gets called, and Solar, he'll put a point on the board, looking to tie up the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We have a back and forth here. Solar, he was able to punish. And we have a series. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, sorry, there we go. It's on the wrong. Beautiful. But we are getting ready for our next game. Going to be loading into the Old Republic. But again, winding it back, it was a really interesting dynamic here where both players were kind of synced up. We did have the 10 pull into the link flood as well, but the follow-up was very different. Because of +1 melee, Reynor, he was kind of telegraphing that it was going to go into Mutaplay, whereas Solo with +1 Carapace, he had a cleaner transition into a Ling Roach all-in, right? Into a Ling Roach all-in, so he was able to move out. He was able to punish Reynor for trying to rush into Mutas, especially on Tourmaline. It was just a really greedy maneuver by Reynor. I should have emphasized that a little bit further, but this map, the map specifically Tourmaline, is a very small map, short rush distance by ground, so ground aggression is favored on this map, so the Roach all-in hit even harder than it would on a larger map like Winter Madness or even the Old Republic. So in the end, Reynor, he was punished, and that is leading us here into our next game. We're going to be loading into Game 4, the Old Republic. Vamonos. So spawning in the bottom hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the Italian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Basilisk. Still leading the series, 2-1, and we'll see if he can extend that lead. It is Reynor. God damn it. Hold on. Okay. And spawning in the... There we go. There he is, baby, there he is. Spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent getting 10 pulled again. Okay, going for another 10 pull. Reynor is. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg looking to tie up the series, putting a point on the board. It is Solar. Here we go. Here we go, as again, Reynor does go for his early 10 pool, once again going for the early Ling aggression, the early Lings, and Solar currently is unaware. Solar, he will have a couple of seconds to react with his Overlord scouting the Lings moving out across the map, and just like we saw in game 1, it's going to be on Solar to micro his units, micro his drones, and to minimize losses and have a stronger defense. It's all about that early game micro. Meanwhile, we'll see if Reynor can out-control. If he can out-control... If you remember, this is a role reversal of game 1. Game 1 is where Reynor was able to shut down the 10 pool and come out ahead. We'll see if Solar can do the same. As we have our Ling Flood. Lings are moving out. Reynor, he will expand. It feels like 10 pools are the new 12 pool, where it's not an all-in. It's a way to get damage done early on and take a lead early on as well, but you do expand behind it and you do drone behind it. But the goal here is economic damage. Enough economic damage to take a lead, if not completely overwhelm. As of course Solar is aware. Lings are revealed. And Solar, he does have to pull the boys. There we go. As I mentioned before, it all comes down to the control, comes down to the micro. Solar, he has to minimize drone losses. So minimize losses and buy time. So far, nice damage here by Reynor. Oh, gets one. Yeah, one drone goes down already. Oh, and Solar's gonna lose everything. Oh god, heavy losses here. Solar, that was not the surround to go for. He was too premature. He was too premature here too soon. He will lose everything, and with that, Reynor, he will out-control. Big misjudgment there from Solar to engage too early, too soon. 10 drone kills. Kills the natural expansion. That is game-ending damage. And Solar, again, just fumbling the ball early on here. GG gets called. Reynor takes a 3-1 lead in the series. Whew, GG. And GG, well played. So when it comes to that defense, again, it's very similar to a 12 pool defense, but Solar, he engaged too soon. I'm not saying that he pulled the boys too soon. That was fine, but he should not have taken that fight. It's just about poking, prodding, dancing with the army, waiting for your Lings to have more progression, of course, and to be a little bit more careful. Because Solar engaged too quickly, he started losing drones very fast. Whereas ideally, you want to buy time for your Lings and buy time for reinforcements to arrive instead, because you cannot win that head-on fight, even with that attempted surround. Like, the surround wasn't too bad there for Solar, but he was just overwhelmed by the higher Ling counts. GG. GG, well played. With that, Reynor, he does take lead. I will say that specifically when it comes to 10 pools as well, because the patch is so new, I'm sure that likewise players are also getting a little bit more experience as these games progress with how to correctly defend against 10 pools and how to correctly like judge like when to engage, how to engage, and all that stuff. Like it feels like there's going to be a slight learning curve getting into more games like this as players get a little bit more comfortable when it comes to that 10 pool defense. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we do have the Italian Zerg player. Oh, we switched colors again. Lovely. There we go. We have the Italian Zerg. We have the blue Zerg representing Basilisk, leading the series 3-1. It is Reynor. God damn it, I keep pressing the wrong button. There we go. They just keep switching up on me. What can I do, Pappy? What can I do? They keep switching. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg. It is Solar. Beautiful. Go rocking that old Team Vitality jersey. Do love to see it. So now we are going to be opening up. This time we're joining, right? This time we're joining. This time there's no early game shenanigans. I love the catcher hype on that one. If you're referring about the last game, I did say that was game-ending damage. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? If you're referring to the 10-pool defense. Meanwhile, it is going to be pool first out of both Solar and Reynor. Unless that was in reference to a different game. True. We have our pool first. With this pool first into our hatchery. This is not to be hyper aggressive. We can apply some pressure, of course, as well, but we're going to be opening up with delayed gases. Because the gas is going to be so late, once again, it looks like 2-base play. From here, we can go into 2-base roach all-ins. We can go into 2-base lair into 2-base mutas. We'll see. We shall see. As we have 6lings on the way for Reynor. Just to apply pressure. And to maybe find some drone damage. Oh, we're actually holding off on that. Okay. Interesting. Solar, he will scout. He will confirm the hatchery timing. Likewise, so does Reynor. They both confirm early pool. And it does mean that these early lings from Reynor, they're not really going to pay off here. This is a better start for Solar. As you can see, Solar, he's on 19 drones compared to the 17 of Reynor. This is because Reynor invests into these early lings, but he can't really use them. Zerglings, they cannot be used. So slight edge for Solar. From here, we're going to be taking gases, and as we mentioned before, the goal here is for us to find out whether it is 2-base lair, 2-base muta, 2-base roach, 2-base roach all in. There are basically 3 options. I guess the 4th option is link speed into a link flood. Which, if you recall, we did see on Tourmaline from both players. Reynor still has no gases, by the way. So with the 100 gas, you can see no link speed is being researched, so we have access to a faster layer. I'm curious as to what Reynor's plan is going to be, though. There we go. Now gases are being taken. Much faster layer here by Solar. Faster layer, faster tech. Faster Spire as a result. I'm assuming Spire, but again, we'll see. Meanwhile, Reynor's gonna be one step behind. Oh, that is +1 range on the way. Never mind. Is the plan to go into roach speed? Again, the other option, as we mentioned before, is to go into roach speed into a roach all in. And that's very early +1 range. It could be a fake out. Show us what you got. As the layer is soon finishing. Wings are deflected. Solar still has the better economy. Slightly. And yep, there it is. Roach speed. Just rushing into roach speed. I believe Reynor just saw that. I believe he just spotted the upgrade. That's hard to say. I don't think he saw it researching. Reynor, he was forced back. Behind this, Reynor playing catch-up. Again, Reynor, he's going to be slightly behind in terms of tech. Slightly later +1. Later lair, later roach speed. Roach is already amassing here for Solar. And Solar, he's on 44 workers. We'll see if he stops at 44. Again, Ruby Rock is a smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground, so these pushes, these all-ins, they hit even harder on this map. And we're waiting for that timing. Upgrades are almost done. And we'll see if Reynor can hold. So it is important to note that defensively, roach speed doesn't really matter as much. So yes, he's going to be lacking when it comes to certain upgrades and certain tech, but he will have queens to help defend, right? He's going to have queens, going to have transfuse that will make up for it a little bit. And here comes Solar. He's still waiting a little bit longer here. Almost done. Yeah, he's setting up the highway here. Here comes the all-in. Solar coming worse at 44. Reynor did drone up a little bit further here, so a little bit of greedy play out of Reynor. Oh, Solar, he drones up behind this. His heart isn't in it. Solar, he now starts droning. Solar, he believes that he cannot kill Reynor. And so far, so good. Reynor's holding on. And Reynor, he does have the transfuse. Ooh, one queen gets caught. Yeah, we'll lose a queen. We have more reinforcements on the way, and Reynor holds. Reynor, he does hold, he does defend. And now Reynor, with the higher drone count earlier, will be able to surpass Solar. Oof. So again, this timing from Solar, it did not do enough. Solar now trying to catch up. Does at least have that upgrade advantage. Like, we have a window where +2 is going to be available for Solar as well. But this is a rough start. A rough start for Solar. The early timing didn't achieve what he needed it to. Reynor now taking a lead. Or getting more comfortable, I should emphasize. Jesus. As Reynor, he does pick out. Just trading with the army, forcing out more roaches, forcing out a greater response. I believe Solar should be able to defend here. Yeah, reinforcements are arriving that much faster. Solar does have the defender's advantage. Solar is holding on. And Reynor just needs a little bit more time. Oh, the contamination. Okay, the contamination. Let's go. Delaying +2 even further. There's going to be a big window here with +2 for the advantage for Solar. He will have that +2 advantage for much, much longer. Solar, he can still make use of this. Reynor setting up back at home. Claiming his 4th base. Upgrades are just now finishing up. That's Solar, calm down. That's your own overlord, Pappy. Calm down. Calm down, Solar. Oh, let's push up the ramp. Yeah, Solar, he commits. Again, Solar, he has +2. He does have the upgrade advantage, and with that, Solar, he may just overwhelm. Yeah, just rallying everything across the map. And Solar, he's gaining ground. He's gaining ground. He's breaking on through. Queens, they arrive to help. Yeah, but the numbers just are not there for Reynor. Nice focus fighting. Takes out one of the Ravagers. There's one Ravager left for both players. Oh, we have more reinforcements trickling in. Reynor, he's holding. He's holding on Pappy. Again, still down in upgrades, but he does have the high ground. Gets extra volleys off. Does punish the retreat. And nice punish out of Reynor. And Reynor, he's holding on. +2 is almost done for Reynor. He's catching up. He's catching up, Pappy. And again, this entire time, Reynor, he's had that worker advantage up by almost 10 workers. So again, better economy, better production, larger army. And once again, Solar, he will miss that timing. He fails to break the 3rd. And Reynor's done it. Reynor, he's done it. He's breaking through. Remember, we need to, as Reynor, he was just 1 game away from claiming the series. And will overwhelm. There's just too many roaches, too much here from Reynor. Solar, he did have some strong timings available with +1 and with +2, but it was not good enough. It was not good enough. In the end, the aggression failed. And Reynor, he'll snowball out of control. He snowballs out of control, breaks through the main army. We're down to 2 queens and a handful of roaches. And it's not going to be good enough. Ah. Not like this. Piles the mineral line. He breaks through and GG gets called. Reynor, he will overwhelm, and Reynor, he will be our GSL CK number 4 champion. GG. Ah, look at the smirk. Reynor, he was so he was so expressionless throughout the entire broadcast until now. Ah, content, Pappy. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here, Reynor. He will claim the series. He'll claim the series. He will take it 4-1. A bit of a blemish here in the finals, losing 1 game to Solar, but just the one here. As again, it was very chaotic back and forth. We experienced a lot of 10 pools. We experienced a lot of 2-base heavy play as well. 2-base Muta, 2-base Roach Roll-ins. Once again, winding it back here in this final game, Solar, he did have a very strong +1 timing and +2 timing as well. But if you recall, Solar, he did kind of second guess himself here when it comes to the first push. I don't blame him. Like, Reynor was also setting up defensively. Reynor, he did drone up a little bit further, that is true, but not by too much. So in the end Reynor, he did back off. Sorry, Solo did back off. He did drone. It did mean that Reynor, he had the greater economy, and that did kick in. That kicked in coming into the mid game as well. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Reynor for becoming our champion. GG. We can have a look at the bracket as well, and it looks like there's going to be an interview. Okay, let's go. Looks like there is going to be a winner's interview. Now I don't think that I can get into a voice call with them. But I believe. Hold on. I need Shin's channel. so Solo's gonna translate. Solo's gonna translate, and Reynor will have an interview with Shin. 1 moment. With Shin and Ryang.
오케이. 서버 초대하기.
So 1
이
moment.
채널은 비공개라는데.
따로 하나 파야겠네.
So it looks like they're getting the interview ready. And I'm curious what Reynor's thoughts are. I mean, again, so winding it back a little bit here, this tournament here, as Reynor does claim the series, he took down Classic 3-0, took down Maru 3-1, and did take down Solar 4-1 in the grand finals as well. So strong showing here by Reynor. Bearing in mind that this was basically the first big event that was testing the changes to the PTR, and very controversial at that, because we had some very wild changes made that maybe weren't the most thought out changes, especially in the first iteration. We mentioned this earlier. I should emphasize it once again, but there was a shadow patch, a shadow like hotfix that was applied today, and more changes were made. Basically they pulled back a little bit on certain changes, and now the larva increase has been reduced. It's still faster, it's still greater than the live version of the game, but has been reduced from day 1. So between day 1 and day 2 there have been some changes made, but again, this is already after Maru Classic and Hero were knocked out, right? It's already sorry, ShoWTimE Classic and Hero were knocked out. It's already after that it occurred. So because of that, we saw some Zerg heavy play here tonight. Maru, he was making references to it earlier where he was like, yo, I can't even tell that like that the larva increase was diminished. Like it was still crazy. Crazy. But again, just waiting for the players to for Shin to try to like scramble together an interview. When it comes to the consensus so far, I mean, obviously there was a lot of backlash to the changes that were implemented in day 1. In day 1, when it comes to that larva increase, it did mean for stronger early game, stronger mid game play for Zerg players, and we saw the Terrans and Protosses struggle to keep up as a result of that. We saw Clem, Hero, and Classic struggle in that respect. And likewise, you mentioned that because of that dominance, it didn't really allow us to actually perceive some of the changes to Protoss and Terran because we didn't get to that stage, referring to the ghosts, referring to the gateway changes as well. But it looks like we have our interview.
Obviously, when we played yesterday, patch was very broken, and today they fixed it, but I haven't played any more games against us other than yesterday, so I would have to play a bit more.
일단 어제는 너무 저그가 사기였기 때문에 오늘 그래서 핫픽스 된 걸로 알고 있는데 일단 게임을 조금밖에 안 해봐서 확실하게 말할 수는 없을 것 같습니다. 근데 어제는 되게 좋았던 것 같습니다.
오. 그럼 오늘 마루랑 했을 때 테란전은 좀 달라진 게 느껴졌나요?
Do you feel any difference against Maru today?
No, actually, it felt pretty balanced in a way. Like I think early game is harder for Zerg because everything comes faster. I would say mid game is slightly easier, but overall, like he lost games because he made game losing mistakes, and I lost my game because I made game losing mistakes. So it felt pretty balanced against Maru at least.
제 생각엔 밸런스가 굉장히 잘 맞는 것 같고요. 초반이 저그가 확실히 훨씬 모든 것들이 빨리기 때문에 좀 더 빡세진 부분이 있는 것 같고.
The bias from Ryang.
이제 중반 단계에서는 저그가 좀 더 쉽게 느껴지는 그런 부분이 있었던 것 같고, 그리고 이제 서로 지고 이기고 했잖아요. 그런 경기들에서 서로 이제 질 수밖에 없었던 큰 실수들이 있었기 때문에 게임은 굉장히 밸런스가 잘 맞는다고 생각합니다.
오.
밸런스적인 부분의 문제라기보다는 이제 플레이어들의 실수가 좀 있었기 때문에 졌다 이런 얘기인 것 같고, 그러면 만약 어제 점프전을 해봤고 쩌태전을 해봤는데 만약에 테란전과 토스전 고쳐야 된다면 어느 정도쯤은 좀 고쳐야 된다고
This is
생각해요.
Ryung asking the question.
밸런스 패치적으로.
밸런스 치고. As a Zerg against Protoss or Terran, do you think anything we have to change about it? What do you feel?
Well, this is a bit maybe controversial, but I think the Reaper is coming too fast now, and I'm sure there's going to be some builds where Hatch First is not viable against. So I would like to see Hatch First as a standard opening and not something you can gamble on. But other than that, I think the late game, like I think the problem about this patch is once we figure everything out, I'm just afraid that it's gonna be the same stuff over again. You know, like mothership carriers, ghost camping, and all of that.
일단 테란전 같은 경우에는 일단 선압이 저는 정석이 되어야 된다고 생각하는데 사신이 너무 빨리 오기 때문에 선풀이 강제적으로 될 수밖에 없어서 그게 좀 아쉬운 것 같고 그 부분을 이제 고쳐줬으면 좋겠고.
We'll add our own commentary after the interview.
토스전은 이런 부분이 아니라
We'll
이제
let him talk. We'll
후반,
let him speak.
그 마더십, 그 모선 그리고 이제 폭풍함 이런 후반 사기 유닛들을 좀 너프해야 되지 않을까 싶습니다.
그래요. 희범이 질문 있어?
그러면은 만약에 이제 테란이 그러니까 그럼 지금 만약에 그 8마리 패치는 좀 어떻게 보는지 궁금한데.
일꾼 8마리.
8마리.
What do you think about 8 workers then?
This is Shin asking.
Well, I don't like it. I think it's just a step in the wrong direction, and I think it's pretty useless, and it just slows down the early game. And I think, as I said, there's gonna be some builds. Like even like 10 pool feels insanely hard to hold in CVZ if you go hatch first. Like you have to have a perfect response. This kind of stuff I really don't like. It's just gambling and I don't know, just a step in the wrong direction, in my opinion.
일단은 저는 이렇게 8마리로 된 거 굉장히 부정적이고요. 모든 걸 초반 빌드들을 모든 걸 느리게 하고 그리고 이제 저저전 같은 경우에도 선압을 하게 되면 거의 10%를 막는 게 엄청 힘들기 때문에 그러니까 선압이 일단 그래도 하면 어느 정도 막아야 된다고 생각을 해가지고 굉장히 부정적이고 굉장히 잘못된 방향으로 가고 있다고 생각합니다.
오케이. 뭐
그러면 뭐 지금 이제 마지막으로 GSL 어쨌든 뭐 이벤트 되긴 하지만 한국 분들한테 오랜만에 이제 이렇게 인사를 했는데 한번 한국 분들한테 그냥 한마디.
롤 아나운서 할 거냐고 물어보.
Will you play StarCraft instead of League of Legends?
Oh, that's the real
if there's
question.
tournaments, yeah, sure. I
대회가
feel like
있다면
playing StarCraft.
대회가 있다면 당연히 스타크래프트 할 건데 대회가 없어.
Ah, the hard-hitting questions, Pappy.
알겠어.
Ah.
그냥 마지막 한마디 한국 팬들한테.
Last word for the Korean fans.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the invite. I had a lot of fun, and yeah, hopefully see you in another GSL in the future if it happens. I'll see if I can come back to Korea.
오.
Let's
대충 잘 알아들으셨죠,
go.
여러분?
네.
다음에 GSL하면 GSL에서 봅시다.
오케이. 땡큐 레이나.
Thank you,
Thank you
Reynor.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Shout out to Shin, shout out to Ryung for casting the event and for, of course, conducting the interview. Shout out to Solar for being the translator. Despite losing, despite coming second, Solar, he was kind enough to jump on for an impromptu translation. So big shout out to Solar, again, Shin and Ryung. And likewise, a big shout out to GSL for hosting the event. You know, again, Patreon is the place to be, support the tournament as well. Now, very quickly in regards to some of the answers here, a lot of this is just a lot of common, I would say, concerns about the patch. We spoke about this briefly previously as well, and again, it's hard to like run an event like this without discussing the patch at least a little bit. As always, you know, try to be constructive with your feedback and with your comments regarding the patch itself. But one of the common concerns with the patch is that it isn't addressing some of the bigger issues in the game currently. Reynor, he alluded to late game ZVP. The other big one, of course, is mid to late game TVP as well. A lot of the Protoss matchups in the mid to late game are a little bit problematic, right? We're referring to like Protoss gaining map control and going into a mass gateway setup. I will say that potentially the warp gate changes are supposed to try to remedy that, and then we also have like late game Sky Toss and ZVP as well. It's important to bear in mind that we did see players attempt to rush Sky Toss in this tournament and they failed to do so, but this is not the same as like building up and your ideal like death ball of a Sky Toss late game army. A big reason why they struggled to do so was because they failed, or they couldn't be active in the early game because of the gateway changes, and it forced more defensive play. But like if the game stabilizes stabilizes and if we're able to once again embrace the mid to late game on a much more regular basis, then nothing has been done about that. You can definitely make an argument that the one change that was made that will be impacting that kind of later stage of the game is the ghost changes. And if you've been watching the first 2-3 weeks of the PTR, you would have seen that the ghost has been dominant in late game TVZ, but that's why in this PTR update there were some amendments, there were some changes made to the ghost, but we didn't really get to experience any of that because of the lava change that we had. We saw a lot of games end much earlier, and we didn't really allow both Maru or Clem really much opportunity to embrace the ghosts and to be able to use them against like a Brulord Infestor army or like an ultra based army or anything like that. It's mainly Brulord Infestor. The games just didn't really get there. This is the big issue that I had that we expressed at the start of the broadcast, that because of the lava change, it's overshadowing everything else, right? It's not really allowing us to see, you know, what changes or what impact the new gateway changes have provided or what impact the ghost changes have provided as well. Like it's just kind of overshadowing everything else and hasn't allowed anything else to really see the light of day, which is important for testing purposes, right? Like we need to see these changes. We need to know if we've gone too far, not far enough, what other changes need to be made. But there are definitely aspects of the game which haven't really been addressed, which a lot of people were hoping for, right? They were hoping for something to be done about mid-game TVP, for example, late-game PVT, late-game PVZ, and yeah, that hasn't really been addressed in the PTR, unfortunately. I will say, as I said before, that it's a good thing that we had like that shadow patch that did make some adjustments. Like clearly that shows us that Blizzard is paying attention, or they felt the need of like very quickly like, oh my god, like this is maybe too much and this is unintended and we need to quickly pull back. So I think it's a good thing that happened. And I'll say something that I've been saying the entire week or the entire PTR, and it's getting a little bit old at this point, but I'm just hoping that we get more changes or more updates like this on a much more regular basis. We cannot wait 3 weeks for another PTR update. We can't wait that long, like no shot. I understand that we're on a timer where we're a little bit strapped for time when it comes to pushing the game live. For those that are unaware, there may be some people that are unaware, BlizzCon is on the horizon, and I believe the idea is for us to have the new map pool and have the new live version of the game ready for BlizzCon, because we have the RSL finals at BlizzCon, but we also have the Blizzard Cup, right? Like there's like a Blizzard like show match event happening, which also has StarCraft at BlizzCon. That's in September, and September is not that far away. Like it's it's right around the corner. We're getting into July, so there is a bit of like a time limit to try to iron everything out in time for BlizzCon. So I understand that, but yeah, I'm hoping that we can have some changes pushed through. When it comes to like the worker count change, so very quickly, Reynor, he of course expressed that he wasn't really too fond of it. The idea and the goal for the worker count change is to increase diversity. Everyone knows this. Everyone's been saying it. That's the goal. I think what a lot of people are finding is that it's failing to achieve that goal. That it's not achieving what the intention. So if it isn't achieving that, then we should consider maybe pulling back on it and reverting it or adjusting things a different way. I think the issue right now when it comes to like adjusting things a different way, I think they want like a big fundamental foundational change to the game, which I'm not opposed to personally. But the problem is that we're already 4 weeks into the PTR, and for example, to like go for a hard switch from like a lower worker count into going back to 12 workers, but like changing like the base placement or changing the mineral patch placement to slow down worker income, or to go for like a macro mechanic change and to make a change to like the mule and to chrono boost and to injections, or remove it entirely or whatever. It feels a little bit too late to test that now, right? Like we're already 4 weeks in. Don't know how long we have left for the PTR, so if they wanted to make a foundational change, and if the lower worker count isn't working, then it feels like we're running out of time to try something else. It feels like a little bit too late for that. Is the issue that we've now found ourselves in. So yeah, we'll see what happens, of course. And again, big shout out to GSL and to SOOP for making this event a reality. Big shout out to all the patrons and supporters as well on the Patreon to be able to fund this event as well. Big shout out to Shin. He was a big part of organizing this, bringing together all the players and creating this kind of like GSL versus the world-esque bracket to test the PTR changes. And clearly, like, this did have an impact. That's why we had like the knee-jerk reaction, like shadow patch. They made a bunch of changes, so you know that's in the end that is like a beneficial thing. Like that is it's good that happened, but yeah, the PTR is still a work in progress, and it still feels a little bit aimless. It still feels a little bit directionless. It still feels undercooked for sure, and we got to get him in the kitchen, pappy. We got to So we'll see. Just catching up in the chat. Live with the level-headed commentaries. I mean, it's just, I feel like the people that are a little bit more unreasonable, they're just on Reddit, and it can be hard to drown that out for sure, or it can be hard to like sift through that and find something that's maybe a little bit more constructive. But yeah, I think my big concern at this point, because for me personally, I was all for making like these more foundational changes to the economy, or to the perceived economy, or to the rate of expansion and the rate of growth in StarCraft 2. Initially, I was all for that, but again, because we're already 4 weeks in, at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm in the group of people that's like, you know what, just go back to 12 workers. Like, it's if it's not working, and if we're running out of time, and if we can't like refine it in time and find like a good solution, as we work towards a live game, like at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm in the group of like, you know what, just abandon it, focus on other things, and focus on other changes instead. I think it's just too late. I think too much time has passed, but we'll see. You know, maybe we get the PTR for like another 8 weeks. Who knows? Who knows, Pappy? Who knows? But regardless, with that, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. And we're going to be heading off here for the time being. Again, the GSL CK is a monthly event every single month. Twice a month even, we should be seeing a GSL CK. And we, of course, will be bringing you that here over on SOOP. And eventually will be uploaded to YouTube for VODs as well. So we will get you over on YouTube. Once again, big shout out to SOOP. Once again, if you want to help support this tournament, and if you want GSL Season 3 to become a reality, you can do so over on Patreon. Patreon.com/GSL is the place to be to support GSL and to allow for more of these events to happen, and to help support the community and help support StarCraft. And again, shout out to Shin once again for making this happen. Big shout out to Shin. With that, thanks for watching. When it comes to the rest of our schedule here, I don't think we have the updated graphic yet. Let's quickly double check here. Bam. Oh, we do. Okay, here we go. So when it comes to this week, do you see what's towards the end of the week? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Doyu Cup. Doyu Cup is this week. If you maybe haven't heard, Doyu Cup is a big event happening over in China, and it is going to be a big Legends tournament, basically. Some old school players are coming back. We got Innovation, we have Scarlet, we have Trap, we have Su, there's some other big names. Neeb, yo, Neeb, he's returning as well. Oliveira. Basically a bunch of old school retired players, fantasy as well, and many others. They've all been invited into a big event, and it's going to be happening over in China. It will begin on Thursday, and we're going to be casting it live here on the CranKy Ducklings. Again, we cast StarCraft on a daily basis. As you can see here, we have the Tuna Cup, we have Pixel Cup, we have the Pondcast, which is our weekly talk show where we do discuss all things StarCraft, going over the PTR, going over the patch. I believe Hearthstone has a David Kim interview that's coming out soon, so we'll be discussing that as well. We already spoke about the Tim Morton interview, and of course all things StarCraft. So again, plenty of content here. Typically we cast twice a day, every single day, but in 2026, we're slowing things down a little bit. It is nice to sleep and get some rest, so once a day sort of thing is when we're live. We cast all the StarCraft that we can. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later in the week for Doyu Cup, or we'll see you guys for some of these other open tournaments, bearing in mind that Masters of the Game is also around the corner. Home Story Cup is also around the corner as well. There's a lot of StarCraft going on. There's a lot of content that's going to be occurring, of course, and do check it out. Do check it out. I believe Doyu Cup is also going to be on the PTR, if I remember correctly. I believe it's going to be on the PTR, so that's also going to be interesting. But regardless, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time, whether it's for some more GSL CK or whether it's for some of our other content. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, thanks for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.